I got two hands, I got my mouth, I know how to earn money.
So, so if he gets deported, you're going to stand by him, right?
If I could marry her, I'd marry her right now.
Will they let you?
No, I don't know if they would or not.
That's,
I talked to the warden about that.
that's something to think about. Would you? Do you want to marry Barry, or do you want somebody better than that, like me? Like me.
Stop blaming people for the things that you have done to get yourself into a situation as such. Bummer's been posting on here because he posted a really tear-jerking couple of videos. One, going back in his memories when him and his lovely woman were laying on the bed just casually, relaxing, and memories in the corner of my mind. I don't know the rest of the song. And he posted another one when Biggie and his lovely wife were at the jail cell in Mandawi, and built up emotions, seeing him behind the bars and hoping that she was going to stick by him if he got deported. And she said she will, and a real tearjerker. Well, of course, Big E's wife, kind of accelerated the emotion in her, petting her shoulders and saying, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. That's okay. Compassion. I'm all for that. Heart-wrenching scene. But, didn't have to be that way. So that's the whole point. It did not have to be that way. You make choices in your life. You do. Those are your choices. And then, unfortunately, you gotta live. Pardon me for a second here. You gotta live with those choices you made. And that's when all the regret comes in. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I acted foolishly. I really didn't know it was going to come to this. But it did. And he's real quick to point blame for his own actions. Nobody put a gun to his head and told him to come on there and label a good man to be something that he clearly is not. Some say he doesn't have to do jail time because of words. Well, we've been through this before. Many, many, many times. You just, for 4 years, you don't go on a YouTube channel and call another man a sexual predator when they're not, just because you don't like them. Call them stupid, call them ugly, call them an asshole. That's all acceptable. Anybody could handle that. But there's a big difference in wording. And there are a few people that support his behavior, saying it's okay to do that. But as I said, these people were not in my shoes. Something like that, if you were working, could ruin a whole reputation, get you fired. Could have peers and other people scratching their heads saying, did he really do that? Is he really a a sexual predator? Oh, excuse me. You just don't say these things. Of course, you got the high rollers out there that, oh, poor guy. But it's not, it's not just calling somebody a pedophile, which is a very harsh word to call anybody for 4 years. For 4 years on your YouTube channel. And the damage that could be caused to the person that you are calling such. But he don't think about that. He just wants a show to get donations and get some attention, and he thinks it's perfectly okay. Well, you know what? It's not okay. It's not okay to anyone. Anyone. Now, it's easy for high rollers to say, well, he don't deserve to be in prison for this or that. Hey, the dude pleaded guilty to 5 counts of cybercrime. He pleaded guilty. No gun was put to his head. Understand that. No gun was put to that man's head. The evidence was out there. He said he never did something like that. Well, when the big screen in the courtroom lit up, and there were several videos that was presented in him doing such. Prior to that, he denied all that. He says, you got no evidence on me. Kept on saying it for years. You got no evidence of me. You ain't got shit. I'm not going anywhere. Well, you did say that many, many, many times. A man could screw up and could say some horrible things out of anger. Sure, I've done that. I don't make a career out of it against somebody. Say what I gotta say. That's it. But 3 or 4 years, this guy was coming on his live shows on YouTube and saying this over and over again. A display of such stupidity, many people couldn't believe what they were hearing. Does he not know the consequences of such? Apparently he's too dense to understand that. So now he's posting, he's laying there on the floor in a prison, reminiscing about what could have been, what should have been, but what is not. But he will never take responsibility on what he does. Nope. He will never take responsibility. He'll even still deny it to this day that he said it, even though the video proof was out there. And even though he pleaded guilty to 5 charges, he'll still be in a state of denial. How's that even possible? Well, with him, it's all possible. And it's reality. Morning, expat. Now you caught me, right? Well, anyway, he posted a couple of videos. Tear-jerking stuff, Nice caption of him and his ex-girlfriend. Even saying, oh, it was him and his ex-girlfriend, where they were just laying on the bed, just relaxing, enjoying each other's company. It could bring a tear to your eye. Well, not to mine. And another video where, again, the Big E and his lovely wife were visiting him over in Mandawi, and it was a real tearjerker, egged on by Big E and his wife, the situation. As she stands there outside his jail cell while he's making coffee and hanging a cigarette in his mouth, crying over his situation. Well, maybe her boyfriend shouldn't have did what he did. Apparently, she supports that behavior. Well, she's the one that posted the video saying single again, so... But he reacted to that too on a comment. How do you know we're not together? How do you know we're not? What makes you believe that? Well, she said it, or was captioned on a short she put on a couple of months ago. We can go by that. Why would she put that on there? Yeah, was a match made in heaven? Maybe. But you know what? He could have had a future with her. He most certainly could have. If he would have shut his fucking mouth, he most certainly could have had a future with her. But no, he couldn't shut his mouth. He had to make a show to get views and get donations and create drama. And where did that lead him? Well, where he is now. And the funny thing is, he blames it on me. Well, better think about that, son. You got nobody to blame but yourself. Nobody to blame but yourself. You got to find a scapegoat or something like that. You got to try to justify why you're in there. And it's been about almost 2 3/4 years total of everything right now. But some people don't learn. Some people just don't learn. It's always somebody else's fault. It's not his. No. It's never his fault. Well, he wouldn't be where he is unless it was his own actions that got him there. Make sense? He could label me whatever he wants to. I'm the bad guy that contributed to his situation. But in fact, it was his own doing. Fact. It was his own doing. But of course, he wants to pass the blame. But again, he doesn't want to take the responsibility of the things he did. And he wonders why he's in there that long. Well, the length of time that he's in there does not necessarily have anything to do with me. Now, he went to court, and me and my lawyers, we could have just let this drag on, which would have been more costly for me. And there was no guarantee on what the judge was going to give him as far as a sentence. So in a sense, I did him a favor, because if I would have carried it out, the judge could have ordered 10 years. But instead, just ordered him to pay a fine to the court and some compensation to me. So he got away pretty good, I think. But the problem is that he doesn't want to pay the money to the court or to me. That will get him deported like he wants to and get him back home. But he doesn't want to see me make any money. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. That's chicken shit. He should be grateful. That's chicken shit money. Chicken shit money. Compared to what the judge could have ordered. He doesn't realize that he got away with this a little better than he thought he would. Now that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a factoid. Absolutely is. But he wants to play this little game Little game. Everything's a game with him. I'm not going to pay this guy anything. I'll wait till he dies. Then I won't have to pay him anything. Well, that's his way of thinking. Warped way of thinking. As I said, don't hold your breath. I might be here for a long time. So his only hopes right now, well, is revenge. I hope Frank gets deported or goes to jail. Kind soul he is. What, for a false complaint by his girlfriend, who stood with him through fire and hell by his side, but then realized there's no future because when he's deported, I know at least on his situation, it would be a one-way ticket. Permanent blacklist. Permanent blacklist. You make your bed, now you gotta lie in it. That's just what it really comes down to. No small violin players with a small violin is needed in this scenario, or warranted. You did what you did, now you gotta pay for it. Never mind a total bullshit fucking complaint immigration full of lies, not even half-truths, just totally mistruths to gain revenge. Like, how dare you do that to me, or how dare you do that to my boyfriend? Well, the way I see it, if she was that gung-ho about him, why didn't she raise the money to get him out of there? How come the do-gooders out there, the high roaders, didn't help to get him out? They used the excuse that, well, I don't want to see Frank get any money from this. Come on. Come on already. If you really gave a shit about this guy, really gave a shit, and the situation is tugging on your heartstrings, you wouldn't give a shit that some pocket change was supposed to go to me as a result of the court order. That money's like lint in the pocket to some people. Lint in the pocket, that's lint. That's lint. But they still won't give in, which tells me they know. They know that, what he did was wrong, and that he should be there, even though they say, well, he shouldn't have been in jail that long. Should have been out one day. Well, they're talking about the immigration thing, but they fail to want to mention that there's, admittedly 5 counts of cybercrime that he admitted guilty to. They don't want to concentrate on that, though. They just say, oh, nobody should be in jail that long. I'm not keeping him in jail. I'm not keeping him in jail. They're doing it. They're doing it, and he's doing it. I'm just going about my everyday. I didn't tell the Department of Justice to keep him in almost two and 3/4 years. I didn't write a letter to them and say, okay, listen, I want you to keep this guy in there as long as you can. No, I have no influence on that at all. If I had influence in immigration, this whole thing would be dropped, right? No, I don't have any influence on immigration. They're doing what they feel they need to do. There are laws. Sometimes you have to pay. Sometimes you just have to pay. Expat, but no one cares about Bummer. His own family don't want nothing to do with him, hasn't helped him. And all the love from his girlfriend and stuff, and well, she has a family that could help, I'm sure, but nobody wanted to help for whatever reason. Well, maybe because they figured that, there's no future. They won't be able to come back, and she ain't going to be able to go to America and be with him. I'm just kind of defining the situation going on, reiterating and defining and making clarity of everything that went on. I didn't force him to come on and make 2 zillion fucking videos threatening my life, calling me a sexual predator. That's all his own doing. I know people say, well, Frank, you said a few things yourself. Yeah, I've said a few things myself. I absolutely did. I didn't make a career out of it with him. People have a lot of defining names for him that are very appropriate, actually, and fits. But I didn't go around doing shows every day, saying Frank Ba is a pedophile, he's a sexual predator, he goes for young babies and kids. He said that. And now he's paying the price. So sorry, no violin player here. There is none. Don't need to be. Don't feel sorry for him. I never will. Even while he's in fucking prison, he's still posting little lame little comments to me about I was an asshole for buying my woman a house. Why did you buy a woman a house? Because I could, is how I answered him. And Brevis was in on that too, which is a answer to both their questions. Why would you buy a 53-year-old woman a house? Well, first of all, she's 50. And it was 6 years ago that I bought the house. And why did I buy the house? Was it by force? No. Obligation? No. I'll tell you why I bought the house. Because I was able to. And because I can. There's your answer. Neither one of these clowns have any fucking money to go buy a house. Although Brevis claims he's got a $900,000 house that in 38 months is going to be paid off and he's going to sell it and he's going to be rich. Well, I thought you were rich already, Brevis, with your Bitcoin and so forth. I was under that understanding, though. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But that's what I gathered. And what I heard, actually, talk from both sides of their mouths. Yeah, go check out Barry's postings. See if it brings a tear to your eye. Real tear jerker. Barry sitting there on his dirty floor and reminiscing about the good old days, what could have been, what should have been, but it never happened. Laying on a bed with his woman, just relaxing. Yeah, well, you fucked up, man. Could have had a future with her. But you fucked up. Don't blame it on me. You fucked up. Don't blame it on me, pal of mine. You did it all on your own. It's easy to point a finger. Well, I wouldn't be in here if it wasn't for you. Well, you're right. I do play a part in this. You tried to make me your fucking victim, but it didn't work. Well, actually, it did work. I am a victim of yours. Pardon me. And that's why you're there. And you're still there because the government says that you need to be there until they're ready to release you, until you're ready to pay the court fees and fines. But being as stubborn and cocky as you are, you won't pay them. You'd rather stay in that pigsty with disease floating around. Eat soggy fucking rice and fish, neither of it that you like at all. Occasionally be able to get something from the commissary there. Or perhaps somebody could sneak you some food in, I don't know, pay a guard a couple of bucks. That's no life, is it? I'm not saying it's easy for him in there. It's not supposed to be easy. It's not a country club. It's not a country club. Is it a lousy place to be? Fuck yeah, it's a lousy place. Would I really want to be in there? No. I have no intention of being there if I could help it. It's not a lovely place. I'll never say it's a lovely place. It sucks. I'm sure. I've seen the videos. But sometimes in life you got to think about what you do before you do it. As it pertains to him. Single, whatever, I don't know. All I know is his girlfriend posted single again. So what does that mean? From her own show. I could only assume that she just decided to move on with her life, which was probably a wise decision. Because the fact is, there's no future with a criminal. He will never be able to come into this country again. There's no future. And he might even be in jail when he goes back to America for long-term unpaid child support and other bench warrants. It's just a lose-lose situation. And how could there be a future with somebody that doesn't want to work and wants to live on the charity of other people all his life, take money from other people, never pay them back? You build up a reputation and nobody wants to help you. That's what happens. The boy who cried wolf. Yes, I am. Viking, in 3 years, he could have 15,000 saved from his pension. But he has money saved. He has money. So while he was able to collect it before they supposedly cut him off, the purpose was to reestablish himself once he did get deported. So when he's saying that he ain't got no money, that's a lot of bull crap. He just don't want to spend it on his own freedom. He'd rather stay in this filthy, dirty place with a bunch of angry Chinese that probably have beat the shit out of him at least several times by now, knowing his mouth. Barry messaged me again and asked for money. He said he will be out next April. He comes up with these. We've heard this for almost 3 years. He ain't going to spend another Christmas. He ain't going to spend another holiday. No one's going to get him detained. Nobody's going to find him on immigration when he ran away from immigration. Frank's never going to get no charges on me. You ain't got no evidence. Well, how many times have you heard that? Sappy Tom says, Frank, you said some time ago, Bummer ain't going anywhere anytime soon. That's right. I'm a loser. Why would Barry message you? Messaged me again and asked for money. He said he'll be out next April. Yeah, right. Yeah. And the pigs in the Philippines have the ability to fly. I've never seen it yet. Sappy Tom says, Jay slapped you hard, then deleted. Jay is known as the hit and run guy. Jay will say all the things he wants on video because he's a fucking coward. And then he'll erase it all. Oh yeah, he'll put some real scathing stuff on there, but then he'll delete it. But he thinks that I don't see these things. He thinks that I don't copy these things, but he's wrong. I told Jay that a long time ago. He said some pretty shitty stuff about me in the past, and I kept it. I kept it all for my protection and for future reference, of course. A real tough guy, Jay, hiding behind a camera. He got that right, brother. You don't say these things and hide behind a camera. Consistently take them off. You know, I've taken videos off, but I never made scathing comments where I'm just gonna and take the whole fucking thing off. I've taken my shows off, and I've taken my whole shows off voluntarily at times, put them on hide. Then I put them back on again later. Just goes with the mood at the time, but you know, if you got nothing to hide, don't hide it. Just like he claimed that he had these resolution papers when but I didn't, when my lawyer didn't, and even immigration didn't. But he had the papers in his hand, waving around some papers. And all it really was a copy of a complaint from Barry's girlfriend making a complaint. It was an affidavit that he was waving around, and everybody had a copy of that, you know. Yeah. What did I do with... Yeah. Looking for something here. It's all bullshit on here, man. Oh, yeah, they got this and they got that. Yeah, you mean before I have it? Before my lawyer even had it? Even Mick Fisher says, I got it in my hands, too. Mick Fisher said that, too. They all got sensitive paperwork that has not even been sent out to my lawyer or to me. Oh, I guess they must work for the DOJ or something, huh? That would have to be the case. They got all this stuff when I don't even receive it. Well, that's a miracle in itself. A feat of magic beyond belief. Walking, talking abortion. You wiped that smirk off Barry's face. That's a fact, LOL. Yes, I did. That was a purpose. I'm Luda says all of his money, besides 10,000 pesos a month, goes toward to pay the fines. Well, here's the thing. I keep on talking about what they call subsidiary punishment. See, that's why he's in there right now. Subsidiary punishment. It's in lieu of him not abiding by the court's laws and the orders of the court. He'll be home. He'll be home in a couple of weeks if he would have complied. But, you know, he doesn't want to let loose that money. And I understand. I understand in part that it's all the money he's got and he needs it to settle down somewhere else. I understand that. But between a choice between freedom at the moment, which he could have anytime he wants, he could be out. Oh, Jim. Yeah. All these losers. So I want to make this perfectly clear so everybody understands, and I know you do. He put himself in his own position. You can't point a finger and say, no, you know, you did this to me. Well, yeah, I did do that to you because of what you did to me. I could not let that go. Not after like 4 years. I'm sorry. Say it a few times, you know, some bad words. I've done it. I've said some bad words when I was pissed off. But there's a big difference between making a career out of it for 4 years on a particular person on social media for all the world to see where the damage could be done to somebody's reputation. Sorry. It's not acceptable to me. And there's not one person out there that's listening that it would be acceptable to if they were in my shoes. Sure, the high roaders will say, well, I just think that's too much, or feel sorry for the guy. Well, how come you didn't help him? No, they won't, because there's money involved for me. But it's the only way you're going to get your boy out of there, because nobody's giving him no money. Will they let him out after a certain amount of time, no matter what? It's a possibility. I think a 2.5-year gig. It's according to how much you actually owe to court. And they go by the peso amount, and they translate it into incarceration time. That's his payment. And he might be able to get away without paying a cent. Well, he'll always owe it, but what they're doing basically is, this is the court's compensation. It's jail time. If you're going to play, you got to pay. The judge himself set these orders. I didn't come up with an amount. I didn't come up with anything. The court set these fees, these penalties. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, as far as he should be concerned, he's getting away easy on this. Oh, absolutely. Because if we would have just decided, let's just go through the whole trial and see what happens. Crapshoot, just a crapshoot, right? It could have turned out when the judge would give him a sentence of 10 years, or how many per count. Remember, there were 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Think of 5 counts. He could have got more than 10 years. Because if you look at the R8 codes and what the penalties are, well, then you'll see that he could have got more than 10 years. This, they got to give you a sentence for each count. It wasn't just one count, there were 5. So he doesn't understand that he got away easy. Cambodia don't want the bummer. Thailand don't want the bummer. No, I think there's going to be a point that they have to let him out, but it doesn't resolve him of the responsibility what he owes. Bad enough he's going to be blacklisted, but if you wind up owing money to the court, and let's say the subsidiary period, goes by, right? He's still going to owe that money. And the fines are going to increase. He'll never be able to pay it, so henceforth, double jeopardy for him, because maybe he's able to get back to the United States, but he'll never have the money to be able to pay the court back and pay me back. He'll never have the money. Hey, I spent a hell of a lot more money than what he, almost twice of what he is to be made to pay me by court order. Not by my order, by court order. He's getting away cheap, really, when you think about it. Oh, I don't care about the so-called loss of money. It's the whole principle is what it is, over money. It's principle over money. Denominator is principle. Fuck the money. Money can be replaced, but the damage that somebody causes to you can't always be replaced. You can't change history. You can't change time. You can't change circumstances. It's now history. What has happened, and he's paying the price for it in many ways. Snappy Tom says Bummer is using his funds to gain favor from the guards. Perhaps. It's not like he didn't do that before when he was in Mandawi. Can you imagine this guy sitting in a Mandawi jail cell at the time? The fucking guy's got an ice maker. He's got a fucking coffee maker. Listen to this. He's got a monitor, and he's got a laptop, and he's got a cell phone, and he's got a rice cooker. The guy had his own office in there. How the hell did he get away with that? And plus they let him use his phone to make more scathing videos that got him into more trouble. The boy don't learn. He doesn't have the capability of learning. Oh, I don't know about 10 years, Viking, but no, he'll eventually be out, one way or the other. But what has he got to go home to? What has he got to go home to? And on another note, his girlfriend went to complain against me, right? I didn't commit no big crime. I didn't commit no crime against her at all. Even as my lawyer said, if there was even any truth in what he said, that would be a civil case, not a deportation case. I've heard that more than once. And my lawyers specifically told me that. And on their counter affidavits, they put that in. Their memorandums, they put it in there. That this does not fall under a category for deportation. It's more civil in nature, as he wrote. Civil in nature, not a deportation case. Civil in nature. That's if even the facts were truthful, or if what was put on the report was even truthful. Not a goddamn thing she said in that report. And of course I read it at least 10 times or more. There was nothing factual in there at all. It was not backed up by any solid evidence whatsoever. None. But it managed to get the attention of the immigration office, which is kind of amazing in itself. How did that happen? Oh, we got some foul play going on here? Because that report would have went in the trash can. But the very fact that it's been over 17 months since she filed that complaint, that they still can't make a resolution on this. Isn't that interesting? Think about it. Isn't that interesting? Really interesting. Well, he's not doing any more live shows because he knows that he will have his phone completely taken away from him if he did that. They're giving him the liberty of using his phone, supposedly for getting in touch with relatives or a lawyer or whatever. They're not watching him every minute. Okay, I don't think they're standing around him. Okay, here's your phone. Post something, whatever you got to do. No, they don't. They don't know. No, they don't know that he's posting things on YouTube. The very thing that got him into trouble. No, they would not allow him to post anything on YouTube because, after all this trouble started. Well, it started from his immigration status, but all this troubles really started when he committed cyber libel. They would not normally, if they knew that he was posting on YouTube, they don't. They would not let him use his phone. There is a certain courtesy that they allow to prisoners to use the phone. They probably even take it away from him, I don't know. Or, I don't know, in rare cases, if you have a little relationship with the gods, and you could figure out what I mean by that, that to let him kind of hold on to his phone. But then again, that would piss off a lot of other prisoners. Why the fuck should he have a phone and we can't? Why is he so privileged, to be thinking, the Chinese getting pissed off at him? He's got something worked out there, that's for sure. Bummer playing the guards for fools. Yeah, Snappy Tom says, and Snappy Tom says, Bummer has street smarts. Very easy for him to fool the guards. Oh yeah, that he has. Any smarts at all is street smarts. That's about it. It's about the summation of his life. Street, keyword, street. Oh, I know he wishes the worst on me. He wants to see me in there with him. But he don't know me very well, and he should know me by now. If I was in there, and I get any use of my phone, I got some real choice videos on there that will paint a picture of him that I don't think his inmates would really like. And they would know his real character, and he'd be in real trouble. Yeah, I got a phone too. Remember that? I got a phone too. Keep that in mind. And if he ever did start a trouble with me, if I was in that position where I had to be detained, it would not be beneficial to him in any form or way. He steps out of line in one way, they're going to increase his jail time. And he can't afford to do that. Approaching what, 2 3/4 years? He won't cause any trouble in fucking prison because he knows that they are not going to be very lenient with him on when they're going to release him. But knowing his stupidity, proven, seen, heard, and proven, that he has the capability of doing stupid stuff like that. What got him in trouble in the first place would get him into more trouble. He doesn't learn to shut his mouth. So that's why I get tired of hearing all this bull crap about how we shouldn't be in there. Remember when he used to say, I've never done nothing, I'm not running away from immigration. Prove it, prove it. I proved it, all right. Had these agents, 5 of them, go right to his house, even with my lawyer there. My lawyer had to witness this. Because my lawyer, didn't like him either. He wanted to be there. He wanted to be part of the action, my lawyer. He was there, Jack. He was there when Barry got arrested. And that was a monumental moment for me, that life caught up with Barry. He said, Frank ain't gonna do nothing. Immigration don't care about you unless you're committing a crime or something. They're not gonna come looking for me. Well, they did. They did. And where was he? being harbored by his girlfriend. That's exactly what it was. She knew what was going on. No playing innocent with this crap. She knew what was going on. She knew. Harboring, aiding, and abetting. Those are some charges. As I said, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, you know what I'm saying? Bad move. Just for revenge. I think that was an awful move. That was an awful move. Sometimes you got to use some sensibility, but then again, I guess you got to excuse the situation with Barry because there's no such word as sensibility when it comes to him. Obviously not. I mean, do I need to prove that? Hell no. Don't need to prove anything. He's demonstrated that. Clearly demonstrated that. See, I'm kind of a chemist here. For my dog's skin, it's a combination of concentrated green tea and some special vinegar to be applied to her skin. Anyway. Viking son, you will never end up there. Well, hopefully not. And hopefully for him not. You would think he knows me by now. If you don't know me by now, you will never, never know me. Oh, no, you won't. Never, never know me if you don't know me by now. Hey, Papa, you simulcasting? God bless you, man. God bless you. Gotta give this man something to live for. Who says I don't perform a service on here? God bless you, Popeye. God bless you. Poor guy. It's almost sad. You'd almost feel sorry for the guy. No, not me. Maybe you would. I don't feel sorry for these inane drones. Oy vey. Oy vey. So the consensus of opinion from my viewers historically has been that, yes, he does deserve to be where he is. He's earned it. And the one thing that he has to do is get rid of his cockiness. Because it hasn't helped him so far. And historically, it hasn't helped him. If he wants to go home, you got to pay the price. You pay, you pay. You pay, you pay. And if you don't pay, you stay. Simple. Simple. Nothing too complicated about that, really. There's really nothing too complicated about it. You do the crime, you gotta pay the you gotta pay the time. Well, how's that go? You do the crime, you gotta serve the time. That's it. He's had his opportunity to remedy stuff. Oh no, but he wanted revenge. So let's plan against good old Frank. I don't like what he did to me. I don't like what he did to me. There's gonna have to be payback. So let's get my friend to cooperate on something. Let's get some of the do-gooders at the time to contribute to the cause. Although they contributed to the cause, but now that he's in the final jeopardy, they're not helping him. Where are they now? They bailed on him. That's where they are. They bailed on him. The do-gooders, the high roaders, they bailed on his ass with the excuse that, well, I don't want Frank to get what the court ordered Barry to pay. That's a lame excuse, man. As I said, to these people, 250,000 pesos is fucking pocket change. Pocket change, I tell you. Well, yeah, what was that with Ricky? It was the title of his show. I didn't see his whole show, though. You said that Ricky's saying that he's finished with doing live shows. Well, if that was true, and I didn't hear his whole show. If that was true, it's because the heat is on him. And because, even Ricky has made a lot of enemies on here. He's pissed a lot of people off. And there's actually been people, and I know as a fact, because I'm one of them, that has definitely reported him to immigration. I'm one of them, that's how I know. But I'm not the only one that reported him to immigration. What an undesirable, a true undesirable that Ricky is. Sure, he's entertaining, but again, it's social media. The key words, it's social media. If he's doing this shit in the Philippines, which he does, it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. Does it not happen? Duh. Look at Barry. Comes back to bite you in the ass, doesn't it? So what did he have to say about it? I did not catch all of that. It was the same old rhetoric with Ricky on there in the street and the bars and everything. I mean, what did he say? Well, Ricky zigzagged between the two places because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to stay in one place. That's one reason, okay? Yeah. He knows what he's doing. But just like it happened with Barry, he's going to get caught in a lot of different ways. Either it's going to be, I don't know, one of the people that he pissed off, perhaps, that catches up with him while he's out in the bar, out at the mall, out at a restaurant. That's the way it happens, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't it really? Isn't that the way it happens? It certainly is the way it happens. And sometimes it happens unexpectedly. That's for real. These things actually do happen. Then they wonder, why? Why did it happen to me? Well, what did you do? Come on, think about it. What did you do to so many people? Attacking people. He's another one who's calling people pedophiles and everything else, too. Look all the shit that he said about my girlfriend. And then Jim actually called him up. They love to use that word. They love to use that word, pedophile. They love to use that word. Jim is calling, these fucking fucked up people. Jim is calling Ricky a pedophile, repeatedly. That's because Jim is not where Ricky is. It's so easy behind a computer in another country to call somebody a horrible name. Richter keeps zigzagging, yeah. But you remember when Mick Fisher met up with Ricky? Ricky nearly shit his fucking pants. Let's not forget that. Who could forget that? I can't. Mick told me himself, briefly. He said you should have seen his face, because I was almost concerned about him. His face turned, what was it? It was either his face turned totally pale, like he was going to black out or something, or it turned totally red. I forgot what he said. It was one or the other. I don't remember exactly. But Mick himself told me that. And Ricky changed his tune. Oh, man, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's all right. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what Ricky does. It's easy for him to put out this shit. It's real easy to put. It's always easy for anybody to put out shit on your fucking show. But when reality strikes, all of a sudden that person confronts you, like Mick did, all of a sudden Rick becomes apologetic. Tries to smooth everything over, which he's done with a lot of people that actually confronted him. Look at Jay. Jay ran away from everybody. Jay had a lot of problems himself with people. He met up with anybody because he knows there's consequences. There's consequences to everything you do in life. There's consequences to what I do in life. Everybody. I'm not, out of this. But some people just don't learn. They think they're above it all, and they're not above it all. You know, especially this country. You know, the Philippines might have a good relationship with America as allies, but, you know, America helps Philippines. But it doesn't mean that the Philippine government loves Americans. It doesn't mean that the immigration officials or any other official department, justice or anybody else, it doesn't mean that they love foreigners. That don't mean that at all. There's an amicable relationship between the Philippines and the United States. But they're not going to put up with any bullshit either. They hold the cards. They hold the cards. Flies are getting in here. I got to shut this door. Flies are probably attacking my tea too. Well, good morning. We didn't say good morning, did you? Good morning. Yeah. Had my tea. Okay. Yeah, the bill came, so Jay ran. Right. Yes, he does have children in the Philippines. He's not paying support. I thought you knew that. No, he's a real stand-up guy, you know. Yeah, he's got 1 or 2 kids. I know 1, but I think 2. And he's not responsible at all. He's not paying child support for them at all. He's not doing anything. Yeah. Well, for a guy that's still living with his mother, I mean, that says a lot of things too, you know. You know, the Bitcoin king who lost his shirt how many times on Bitcoin? Oh, he's a real stand-up guy, Jay. Real stand-up guy. Fucking Aborigine motherfucker. Hairy chest, looks it all. Not that there's anything wrong with an Aborigine person. As Jerry Seinfeld said on his show. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay. Do you remember that one? I love it the way these things pan out. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me, but sometimes things are so goddamn obvious. Like the wart on your nose or something. Some things is just so fucking obvious that if you can't see them, you're blind. You set your own destiny. Okay, let's look at the worst scenario here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Was Kramer my favorite? Let's see. Yeah, I would think Kramer was my favorite. Yeah, I would think so. George takes second place and Seinfeld takes third, actually. Elaine's kind of at the bottom of the list, but she was spicy like me. I relate to every single one of these characters, good or bad. I relate to every single character. That's why I took to Seinfeld, because I relate to every single one of those characters in one way or the other. I watched the show long enough, even in repeats. It's a New York state of mind kind of thing, you know. But yeah, I see myself in some aspects of each character on that show. Absolutely. George. You remember his old gym teacher, whatever he was? He was down and out on the steps of the library in New York. George was walking up the steps and you see somebody that looks awfully familiar. It was his fucking, what was it, the gym teacher or something, who couldn't stand George, hated George. And his favorite line to George was, "I can't stand you, Costanza." And down and out of his mind and talking to himself, you know, he's on the steps of the library, I guess it was. He's still saying, "I can't stand you, Costanza." It's just like all these creeps. "I'm going to get you, Frank. I'm going to get you." Newman. Oh, Newman. They all had their own great character on that show. They did. It was so real, too, because, you know, growing up in New York, I could actually tell you that this was based on reality. And, of course, having David as a co-writer on there, you know, who had his own show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, was really based on, it was David, right? His own persona, his own character. That's why it worked so well, because it was reality, in a sense. That's what made the show so successful. The co-writing of Jerry and what's in David? What's his full name? You know, it was real. It couldn't get more real. I know New York characters because I'm one of them. I know the way people think and act in New York. I know. I was one of them. How they're outspoken. They don't waste their time with bullshit. They just blurt it out. Tell people how they feel, which is what you should do. Instead of keep it in. Don't pretend that you like somebody. You have a so-called friend, for example. Don't pretend that you like them when you really don't. If you don't like them, tell them. That's what New Yorkers do. They don't hold back and get a fucking ulcer. I like the approach of Newman and Jerry when they see each other. Newman will say, "Hello, Jerry." And Jerry come back, "Hello, Newman." That was rich. I like that one scene when George was it George? Was trying to get this, what was it, a pinball machine or something? He was trying to get it across the street. And they used the Pac-Man motif as George was trying to navigate across the street. I mean, somebody was throwing away this game or something, this pinball thing, arcade game, I guess, you know. And George wanted to keep that. So he had to navigate the heavy traffic. That was great. As it wound up getting hit anyway or something. The machine broke into 1,000 pieces. Oh, we could go over so much. We could go over so much with the Seinfeld show. Never stop, nonstop. Actually, Seinfeld was a good show. Now, they were all good characters on that show. And morning coffee with the lovely. Don't worry, you didn't face it. Yeah, I've been fighting them all morning. You're not on camera, dear. Don't worry about it. Having a cup of coffee. Let's have another cup of coffee. That was a song, wasn't it? And I'll just have my tea. Let's have another cup of coffee. And I'll just have my tea. Get that fly. You got him. Bye, Barry. Anyway, he's been posting lately. I guess he got time with his phone. And he posted a real tearjerker of him and his girlfriend at the time, laying on their bed, contemplating his navel and having a relaxing moment. It almost brought a tear to my eye. Not.
Still together with the girlfriend?
Yeah, he posted, he likes to do posts now and then. And he says, I miss, what was the title? Memories or something, you know, and memories in the corner of my mind. Barbara Streisand. Well, at least you got the memories, man. Be happy about that. That your brain is at least functional enough to have some memories. But what was is no longer. And according to the own words on her own show, in the title it says, I'm single again. Well, go by her own words. Oh, the Soup Nazi. Oh, I seen an interview with him on that. About that. I saw an interview with the Soup Nazi. What is that there?
Look at my label.
Miss Robbie's son. And I can't believe they call you that. Brilliant. Brilliant, Gilda. That's brilliant. Miss Robbie's son. Oh, my God. Oh, you're eating some, was that poto?
Photo.
Poto. I can't eat that shit. It's all made of rice, right?
No.
What is it made of?
Saan siya? Kasaba.
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 Kasaba. I don't know. I didn't find it that tasteful myself. Anyway, the Soup Nazi was actually being interviewed, and he was talking about that, how he got that part, and somebody else was supposed to, but how he got that part, how it evolved. So that was an interesting story in itself. He's a pretty cool guy. I forgot his real ethnicity and all that stuff, but he was vital in that show. They needed his character on there. Every little minuscule thing on that show was so significant to be factual in the way people think in New York and in general people, period. And the humor was just incredible. Like, I always remember that scene where Jerry's in the bakery. And I forgot what we called those cookies back then. Very common. My parents used to buy them. A variety of Italian cookies, pastries, you know. And it was black on one side, like chocolate, and it had white, which was really sugar, on the other side. They were black and whites. It happened to be a black American in the store at the time who was also eating one of them cookies. And that scene always stuck in my mind. Unity. They both held up the cookie to each other and kind of praised each other with that cookie, meaning black and white, like right on, brother. Unity. Diversity, you know. Brilliant. Just brilliant. That was brilliant. But then again, if you were an avid watcher of Seinfeld, there was just too many in there to mention on there. Too many scenes in there that are very memorable and so factual in life. It hits home to a lot of people who've seen. But a lot of research went into that. And some of it was ad-libbed, and they left it in too. There were some scenes in there that was ad-libbed. It was not in the script, but they said, oh, that was brilliant. Let's let it go. We'll go with that. That's a cut. And they used it in the scenes. Okay, so let's look at this whole situation. A person gets themselves into this mess, and then they want to call themselves the victim. They're not the victim. My case says Facili, Jerry. Facili. I'm not following you now. Then you want to blame the world for everything you've done. But you see, the thing is that you have to think about, it's not just the report I put on him. It's not just what he did to me. Got another, same fly? You got, okay.
Okay.
She got them, okay. That's why that door in the front has to be kept closed. Okay. It's a number of things conglomerated, mixed up in a bowl. To make a soup, you need the ingredients, right? According to what kind of soup. You're going to make a chicken soup, you need the chicken. You need all the stock that goes into that chicken. And when you got everything together and the right spices and everything, it becomes chicken soup. Zoop for the soul. Zoop, as I'll say in New York. Zoop for the soul. Soup for the soul. So you got to get all these ingredients together as Barry did. He got all the ingredients together that put him in that situation. Nobody told him not to pay 7 years of immigration fees. Nobody told him to do that. There's no gun to his head. He did that all on his own. He had no problem buying booze and cigarettes, but he didn't want to put the money to what everybody else has the responsibility of doing. Then he did what he did regarding me. He thought it was a game. He thought he could get away with it. Well, he thought he could, but that just didn't work. So I beg to differ on the opinions of some people on here that he doesn't deserve. Because the fact is he hurt a lot of people. Everybody's aware of it. You've watched his shows for years. You've seen what he did. Everything from Pennsylvania trucker giving $25,000 to his girlfriend at the time to be used to help her out for her store. He said, no, give me the money. I'll give it to her. And what did he do? The motherfucker took more than half the money and gave her the rest. That's just one example. That's just one example of many, 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 many. So I have to beg to differ that it just has nothing just to do with me, but he did a lot of things that were less than proper. Taking money off so many people and businesses and private people, girlfriends. They always had to have a job. He said it himself, I don't want a woman without a job. But there's a reason for that. Because he wanted them to support him. And that's exactly what happened. His prior girlfriend, you know, who she is, she did a show and admitted. And where I'd go, he'd follow me. He always wanted money for something. He'd get on his motorcycle when she was 2 towns away and go and see her. Oh, I need some money. And she had just gotten paid or something, from what she does, her store or whatever. He knew, when she had money. And when he knew that, he was on his motorcycle up there. She said, this is her word. She did a show on this. I'm not making this shit up. He was over there, and he was over there to get money for. He found some excuse, but he wanted to buy some booze and cigarettes. So she finally, after a long while, and some people don't wake up, and I guess it took a few incidents to wake her up, like the money that was earmarked for her that went in his pocket. She said, I work hard for my money. I'm not in this relationship for him to suck off my tits, in so many words, she says, that he was using me like an ATM machine. She had enough of it. But what did he do when he was mad? Oh, the Fusilli pasta. Okay. Yeah, I remember that. What is that? Ant. And where was I going with this? This was critical. You remember when he was upset with her? That she was rejecting him. What did he do? He came on his show. And he threatened, like he does to people and he's done to me. He threatened to show some very intimate photographs of him and her. Yes, he sure did. He went as far to talk about a certain type of sex that they have. He threatened that he was going to release photographs. I gotta sneeze. While I'm actually sweeping up some dog fur. No wonder I'm sneezing. Yeah, he came on. And he was saying things like, very graphic things about what they did sexually. Almost deviant stuff, that only he could come up with. You don't talk about that. I don't care how mad you are. You got jilted from your girlfriend. Oh. He had a pasta statue ends up causing chaos. Of course, it always does, including a mishap involving Frank Costanza and as well an uncomfortable fall. Yeah. You don't say things like that. I don't care how mad you are at somebody. I really don't. You have the right to be mad if you feel you're justified to be mad or something. I understand that. I've had my time in the sun with that, But there's certain that you don't say on here. But he's so stupid that he can't understand that everything has consequences. It's like in a Seinfeld show. Everything they said had consequences, which weren't always good. And where did the crew wind up at the end of the show, the season? The old jail. Sound familiar? No, man. He didn't do the girlfriend at the time, He didn't do her no justice, man. That's private between, whatever they did in their bedroom is between them two. It's not to be made public. Not to be made public. You just don't do that, man. You just don't do that. I know you're upset with her, you got jilted, but come on, man. She had every right in the world to be upset with him. Every right in the world, as well as I did. I warned him. I sent up many, I fired some shots in the air many times, and I said, man, you need to stop this. There's going to be consequences, but he didn't listen. He just continued. And not only did he just continue, but when he found himself in the Mandawi lockup and beyond, he was still posting the same kind of videos that got him the 5 cybercrime charges against him. That's how dense he is. He was still. So when Biggie and people say, oh, I feel sorry for him, all he really deserves is a day in jail for his immigration, then send him home. Come on, man. But you're not going to convince Biggie. Biggie knows that. He just won't admit it because it's me, He knows what Barry did was wrong. He knows completely. But because I'm involved, it's going to stick up for Barry's side. Oh, Barry didn't do no wrong. He knows damn well what Barry did was wrong. He knows damn well. There was even a time that Barry went against Big E for many things because he wasn't getting no more money out of Big E. That's all he did. He got friendly with people just to get money. He kissed their ass, literally, almost. Kissed their ass to get a donation. But then when they didn't want to pay up no more, something happened, he'd be calling them every fucking name in the book. People only as good as what they can give them. That's all about it. As far as he's concerned, they were only good to him as far as how much they could donate to him. That's what it was all about. He used and abused people. So pardon my sarong, but his situation is deserving. Mine is not. There's a big difference. It's called consistency and persistent. For 4 fucking years, calling me a sexual predator, calling me a child molester. How much would you put up with is a good question. When does it get pretty old for you after a while? When does it get to your breaking point? You're going to say, hey man, enough is enough, motherfucker. Well, that's what happened with me. I said, enough is enough. I didn't do anything wrong. It was within my rights to do something that I felt needed to be remedied. That's what I did. I had every right to do it. So now, he's paying the price. He's upset. He's upset. He's upset. And rightfully so. Frank, you're a funny old bear, a lot like Kramer. As I said, I have Kramer in me for sure. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I got a sense of humor, sometimes warped, I admit. Hey, fuck, I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm not making no excuses. At all, I don't need to. I'm very proud to be who I am. They're all making fun. Oh, yeah, he buys a woman. I keep on loving this one. He buys a woman a house can never be his. It is mine. It's mine and hers. As long as I'm alive, it's mine. I got a 40% investment in it. I got a 40% ownership of this is the way it works. My name, which they're forgetting, is actually on the tax declaration. Big difference. My name is on there. It's not just hers. It's not just hers. I have a say in this matter if it really got ugly. Besides that, I got a 25-year lease, so where am I stupid? And nobody forced me to buy her a house, because it benefits me too. I don't pay rent. I look, I don't have to judge. But keep in mind, I didn't get off the boat and buy her a house. 6 years into the relationship, I bought the house. You can't label me as, who's it, Brevis? They're laughing on some comments on Barry's postings. You buy a woman a house. Why did you buy a woman a house? She's married with it, whatever. Said all this crap, with 8 kids and blah, blah, blah. Well, the answer was, I can. Barry can't buy a house. And Brevis is in no position to buy a fucking house, no matter what he says. I said, because I can. Because I did. My choice. Not anybody else's choice. Mine. Did she ask me for a house? No. She was happy renting. She didn't care. It was icing on the cake. I saw a good deal on a house, and I bought it. And I'm poor. I'm poor. Well, that was another comment or something they made on there. Well, you can't be poor and buy a house. In cash. You can't. It's not a gift. It wasn't gifted to me. Life. His entire life. Never to rent a functionable abode. That's why jail is good for him. It's all free. Free is good. Free is good. Free at last. Free at last. Free is good. Right, Barry? I think to some point he's enjoying his accommodation. What else is he going to do? Where's he going to go, really? He's not welcome back in Alabama. He doesn't have all these friends waiting for him, hugging him at the airport. His family hugging him at the airport. They don't give a shit about him, man. They don't even help him. Don't even help him. Sound like Jerry there. They don't even help him. Oh yeah, they're all going to be waiting for him when he comes back to Alabama in a couple of years. They're all going to be waiting with bated breath to welcome him back in their lives. The lives that he fucked up by not paying the child support for his own kids. By beating up his woman over the child. As who was going to get the kid. Yes, he has violent tendencies. He can't control his temper, and that's what gets him into trouble. Well, he's in a prison which has a, what do you call it? Jail system in there for detention. He's in the detention part of the prison. He's in an actual prison, yes. It's an actual prison. They have a detention part of it too. It's more of a detention center in the prison. But yes, it is a prison. Yeah. It could be worse. It could be worse. This is a guy that fucking put a knife up to a waitress. Because he didn't want to fucking pay his past bills. Oh, that was all over the news, wasn't it? It was the newspapers. It was the newspapers. National. But Barry don't do no wrong. As the high roaders would say, Barry don't do no wrong. That's when he muted. Before he pulled out the knife to her, to intimidate her, to make her say, oh, okay, I won't charge you for the past bills you owe us. He tried to scare her. He tried to intimidate her with a fucking knife. He took a knife out of his fucking pocket that he normally carries around because he's a scared shit, because he's a fucking coward. He showed this woman that purposely, and you shouldn't be carrying a knife around, number one, and then taking it out in a public place, number two, and then number three, using it as a weapon to intimidate this poor bartender girl, poor waitress, because he didn't want to pay his past owings in that bar. How right was that? It wasn't right. It wasn't right at all. So again, to sum this up, he deserves every fucking thing that he's got. and coming to him. Every fucking thing. Now, even if his girlfriend succeeded in convincing the immigration to deport me, we got a whole different situation. I didn't commit no crimes. It's more of a civil matter than it should have been anything else. And not even that. Not even that. If I were to be deported, if they came to a resolution, I'm not going to be permanently blacklisted. Hey, I was away from Gilda for 14 months. I think it was 14 months. It was 12 to 14 months because of the COVID. We kept in touch. Look at the positive side in a way. If I got deported, and it would be temporary anyway, it would not be a lifetime deport. It would not be a lifetime blacklist. Mind you, I get to go see some other countries, which I haven't been able to do. I could go to one Southeast Asian country, take a bus or whatever it is, and go into another neighboring country and explore that culture too. Remember, I don't travel much. Maybe it's an opportunity to travel a little bit. Experience some other cultures. You got to look at the positive side. It says, you're making phone calls behind the scenes to have Barry's phone confiscated. I certainly am. I'll tell you that up front. We'll see. We'll see. Like anything else, we'll see, said the blind man. So, I try to find a positive in some things. Never get to travel much to see all these Southeast Asian countries. If I were to be deported, well, they probably have to send me back to America first. Then I have to buy a ticket to whatever Southeastern country that I choose. I'll still be in Asia. And I get to explore another culture. Cool. I can go over the border, go to another Southeast Asian country and explore their culture. Get to travel a little bit. You got to look at the positive. My girlfriend will always be in my life. When I was in Hawaii, because of the COVID thing, I got stuck there. We're in touch every day. It's almost like I was home. We'd be in touch all the time on the phone. I wasn't missing anything at all. Even the dogs. She put them on camera to hear my voice. It's the way it is. Listen to this troll here. Bye, troll. What did you do that would cause them to deport you? His girlfriend, she was coerced to do a complaint against me to try to get me deported, to say I was an undesirable. And if anybody's an undesirable, Barry's an undesirable. Funny, huh? She made up this false report and had some do-gooders pay for the lawyer to write this thing up. Received the affidavit on this. Lawyer made a counter affidavit and so forth, proving that this was all bullshit. It was simply revenge. Because by him being incarcerated, it was preventing them from having a relationship. Not my fault, okay? He did what he did. So they had to enact revenge. It was all about revenge. All about revenge. Now, it takes a team of immigration workers in the special department to come to a resolution, which they have not for 17 plus months. Yes, they got a hold order on me. Administrative. It's not like Barry, where I refuse to pay my visas and all that. This is administrative only. only because there's a complaint out. And by how they do these things, by protocol, they have to put a hold order until the matter is settled. That's the reason. I'm not like Barry. I didn't purposely not pay visas. I always pay my visas. Always pay. It's just fair to other expats that have to pay visas to stay in the country, isn't it? But he thought that he was privileged in some form or way. I don't need to pay it. My booze and my cigarettes are more important. And he thought he could get away with that, but that didn't work. This was a very well-planned arrest that I had for him. Very well planned. Very well planned. Like clockwork. 5 agents. Oh yeah. My own lawyer even came in to witness it. Mike K says, what a headache. Yeah, it is a headache, to say the least. So they figure a little revenge goes a long way, you know. Well, for who? For who? You know, I'm the kind of person that always winds up on his feet. I take the good with the bad. I've always been able to do that all my life. I take the good with the bad. Right, Popeye? What goes around comes around. Sure did. Sure did for him. And it can't be no relationship with him, and whether he gets out or not, she's not going to be able to go live in the United States. There's no way in the world. There's no way in the world. He couldn't even support her. He can't support himself. The whole idea of holding on to some of the Social Security disability money, which is a farce to begin with, you know. Disability. What disability? His brain, perhaps, but if that guy could ride a motorcycle for 100 miles, he ain't got no bad back. If he could have a woman straddle on his fucking thighs, screwing her on camera, he ain't got no bad back. Not even remotely. Just all lies. He lives by lies. That's how he gets by in life. And for those that support him, they're just as bad as he is. You know, the high roaders think he didn't deserve all this time, but like I said, and I'll repeatedly say it, they're not wearing my shoes. I guarantee you, if it was against them, they'd want to go over there, take his head and pound it like a railroad spike into the ground. They do a lot more legally with him, too. But the high roaders will not admit that. They're not wearing my shoes. They couldn't fit into my shoes anyway. I don't have big feet. All right, we've been on for a while, an hour and 34 minutes here. I think I got it all out here today. Did you get it all, Popeye? Now Popeye will have his little soliloquy to review what I had to say on here. Damn, Robert, get a life, man. Seriously. You're pathetic. Everybody knows it, but they just come on your show to hear your bullshit. They want to hear what you're going to be bitching and whining about this time about Frank. You're living rent-free in my head. Whatever. Or how does that go? I'm living rent-free in his head. Isn't that the proper phrase? But we ain't got no life like Robert. What are you going to do with your time? Because there's no more soap operas on TV. Oh, he used to follow General Hospital and I think Days of Our Lives. He'd be sitting around all day, a grown-ass man, watching soap operas. Imagine that. Only time I seen soap operas is growing up because my mom used to watch that religiously. I couldn't watch cartoons or anything. When her soap operas were on, that was it. Yeah, seriously. A grown-ass man watching soap operas all day, that's his retirement. Pretty exciting, huh? So Robert can't, well, they know, everybody knows what he's all about. He's pathetic. Poor man hasn't gotten laid. How many years now? Since he was actually married, and who Who knows how often he even got laid in that relationship? She couldn't deal with him. He got drunk one day and he beat the shit out of her, and she divorced him. End of his sexual revolution, huh? And there's Papa going, okay. Well, there you go. After he does his simulcast. Well, there you have it. Yeah, there I did have it. It'll try to make something of anything I say on here to try to make him look like the good guy. And all the guy is scum on the earth. He's who is now anchored in just coming from the Solomon Islands, and is now in Papua New Guinea, waiting for customs to take a boat taxi wherever to him to check his credentials and blah 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 and all that stuff. Pretty cool. Follow a trip like that. Actually, it's not even that easy to anchor your boat, as people would think. Just throw the anchor and that's it. It doesn't work that way. It looks like some bad timing out here. Okay, we're going to do a show later. Nothing going on here at this. It's an atypical situation that happens in the Philippines all the time. It happens in the Philippines. Welcome, first viewer. I'm just going to continue. I'm not going to wait for viewers. Not many people on, usually at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm just going to continue. Should have been more of an upload than a live stream, actually. But that's okay, already on the live. Okay, so Stephen's wife, her grandmother had left her some parcels of land. I don't know how much land, thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, now this granddaughter was the one who was really practically raised by the grandmother, right? And she was the one that always took care of her. So her grandmother left in a will land to her, not to the other members of the family, whether siblings of Stephen's wife or whatever the case. Okay, so understand something in the Philippines. When it comes to money and land, there's going to be fighting in the household. The land was not left. The land was not left to anybody but Stephen's wife. That's it. Stephen's wife only. The land was left to Stephen's wife. Now, of course, that created a ruckus and left to the family. Even threats regarding, his wife's pregnant, that she's going to have a baby, that they're going to wish that it dies or something. That's how bad it gets in the family out here. Because I could tell you for sure, when my partner was working in Dubai. Oh, no, where was she? Dubai. It wasn't Dubai. Where the fuck was it? Oh, I forgot. Anyway. She's working overseas, and she was sending money back home. Yeah, everybody happy. Oh, loving her to death. But, when she came home, and at the time there was no more money coming in, certain members of the family kind of turning against her. Well, this is kind of what's happening with Stephen. And fortunately, in my girlfriend's situation, when her father died, equally, there was no arguments. It goes to his children. Yeah, it went to his children. To Gilda's brother, Gilda's sisters, it went to them. Now, as well as the house in Leyte, basically that house is left to my girlfriend and her other children. It's the way it works. But there's always going to be somebody jealous Fortunately, nothing going on like that in her situation, but in Stephen's situation, it's a very dangerous situation. Not just the fact he's living in Mindanao, that's the first danger point. But when there's a poor family involved and somebody leaves you money or land, it's going to be a horrific situation going on. Envy, jealousy. I want my piece of that cake. I want that piece of the pie. And they won't stop until they get it. Now, at one point, his wife was almost feeling obligated. Maybe I should parcel out to give somebody a little something in there, you know. No. Especially after the way she was treated. Now, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't give shit to anyone. Threats, innuendos, putting fear in her pregnancy. They don't deserve shit. Nothing, nada. She has to stick to her guns on this, no matter what happens. And she doesn't need the stress from all this either. She's pregnant. Stephen, they're having another baby. Oh, I didn't know that wasn't Stephen's kid. That's someone said the kid was Korean. I thought it was his biological kid. I guess it's not. But point being, and moral of the story is that, especially here in the Philippines, I can't speak for other countries other than America, but it happens there too. But especially here with the poverty, the intense poverty, that if some family member is being left an inheritance, they want a piece of that pie. They don't care how they get it. They may love you one minute, but then they will turn against you the other. It's a very scary situation for families out here when people are smelling some kind of possible payoff, land or money or whatever. And they will fight over it. And sometimes it can get really ugly. People have died over things like this, and they've died less than things like this out here. But I'm just saying. Now, people have made comments to Steve in his show constantly. Don't give in to this crap and all that. And I think his wife is feeling pretty pressured about this. And she's pregnant, which is not cool that she should feel any pressure from the rest of the family. The bottom line is, it was clear as it be on the paperwork that the land, however much it is, has been left to Stephen's wife. What was her name? Miriam? That's it. It doesn't mention the rest of the family. They're not on that will or legal paperwork. Just like this house here that we own, yes, we own, something happens to my partner, it's already on paperwork. There's no argument about it. That her children will all have equal share in the house. Yeah. Hey, Big Birch. So they can do what they want with it. They probably would keep the house to go to vacation over here, and I don't know, but you can't leave a house. The bad thing about that is that you can't keep a house empty, you know. Perhaps, they might want to rent it out. And whatever money they make could be shared amongst the siblings, which is a more likely thing to do. And since her daughter is a certified public accountant, she knows numbers and, she can figure this all out. So you see, the purchase of a house is not just for your wife or partner. It's for you too. But it's a gift that keeps on giving, because if something happened to my partner, it's already on paper. There's no argument. They're not going to argue over it. It's already going to the children. Not to the ex, no. It's going to the children. It's already a done deal. It's a gift that keeps on giving. That's what parents try to do. I mean, when I sold my house in Hawaii, I had 50 grand set aside. It was going to go toward the children for their education. 50 grand set aside. When my daughter continued with her attitude and she didn't allow me the children in her life and they didn't make an effort to be in mine, so I said, fuck it. That's the way it goes sometimes. You will give respect when people show you respect. And in the end, your generosity will depend on how you're treated. And I would not put a penny out. Missed out. Too bad for the kids, but I don't know them anymore, you know? I don't know her anymore. But getting back to Stephen, they're under pressure with all this, you know? It's nice to be gifted some land from your relative, but then when it causes disharmony in a family, it gets really, really ugly. And sometimes they wind up giving in, which they shouldn't. I mean, my idea, even though Stephen just kind of built this house that he has right now, my take on this is that sell the fucking house. Hopefully Stephen will be listening to this. I don't know. Sell the house. And don't tell your relatives where the hell you live in. Don't tell them. Don't even mention it on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Bert says, I'm not buying his land problems. Stephen's putting out clickbait. Well, it's possible because that's what he does a lot. See, that's how you, it's like the boy who cried wolf. He makes up stories as he goes along. I don't see his wife next to him listening to this. Do you? No. But let's just say that the story's real. All right? Let's just pretend that it's real. Because that happens a lot in the Philippines, more than people know. I don't care how close the family is when it comes to receiving property or money or something. For example, if you won the fucking lottery, excuse my language, you'd have every relative that maybe you were never close to, all of a sudden, hey, how you doing? They're going to start asking you for money. I remember when I was visiting Leyte with Gilda to see her mom, when her mom was living in Leyte, a couple of times. There was like a long-lost cousin that nobody's really ever heard of. But he knew I was, word gets out, that I was there, Gilda was there, I'm the white guy, I'm the foreigner, I'm supposed to have all this money, supposedly. He comes over, and he was hinting about borrowing money. I said, don't give him a fucking dime. You don't give in to that shit. Or they'll be back and back and back again with really high expectations. So if Stephen's situation, if you don't know who Stephen, he's the one who's, hello, all you lovely people. Yeah, right. It could be a real situation. It doesn't matter, because if it ain't for his situation, it's happening every single day in the Philippines with some family somewhere. And the family could get really ugly and they could get really dangerous. When it comes to their own survival, if they see a family member doing better than they are, they think that it's an obligation that you help them out. No, it is not an obligation. That's a personal choice you would make if you want to help a family member out. Of course you're going to help your mother. If you have a father, of course you're going to help your father. Of course. If you got that kind of money, you even build them a house. Absolutely, if that is your mother and father. If you do good, the very people who raised you are the people that should be taken into consideration, not anybody else. Unless you feel generous. Unless you feel generous, and that's a personal thing you have to decide. Because all the vultures will be flying in the sky, low, waiting, circling around, and they'll do the most dastardly things to the other family members. Well, maybe they were not at odds with the family before, always got along wonderfully, marvelously, phenomenally. Well, not when it comes to money, not when it comes to land. It's not going to happen. It's
crazy how things change overnight. The relationship with a family over property and or money. Well, Birch said you're not buying his land problems. I don't know. Well, when you listen to somebody lie all the time, like Barry and Ricky and everybody else on there, Big E and everybody, you know, it's, you learn that you can't believe everything you hear on here. Some of these people would do it for the views and all that stuff. Like there's some chick on there, a Filipina, I forgot the name of her channel. Anyway, there's some foreigner that's in trouble and, I don't know, kind of trying to help him out, which is nothing wrong with that. And with funds, bought him a walker and all that stuff. He doesn't have access to his banking cards and won't get it for quite a while. And he may have to actually go back to, I think it's America, to straighten this out. But yeah, it's nice. She's been helping him and all that. But you see, sometimes it's hard to distinguish between somebody who sincerely cares about somebody else, or is it a ploy to get your emotions going, to send donations, and to build up the image of your channel. This is done all the time. All the time. It's a form of clickbait. And there are some people who are genuine, and through their heart, they're actually doing these nice things. For example, I have no obligation to help anybody out, although I've helped a lot of people out, both here and in Cebu in different ways. Storms that happened, her mother's place, okay, the family house, actually, where she used to live. I've helped out with that. Not big time money, but help them get some roofing materials, help them get some wall material, things like that. Yeah. I helped out. They didn't ask. Neither. In fact, the family house, actually, was where her ex lives. And I paid no thought to that, because a good part of the children was still living at that house. Did it for the kids, not for him. I probably would have done it for him anyway, too. It doesn't matter. He's never bothered me. We don't have any ill feelings against each other. None at all. There's no communication. He's good with whatever is, and I'm good with whatever is, and that's it. No tension at all. But I would help. But I help because, well, he's housing these children. And by the way, that too would be the children's, in part, the property. I forgot how it divides on the abode out toward the Cebu area. No, and it's not Mobolo. That's another part of a family member. It's Cebu, but I'll never say where. A lot of options. A lot of options. If Gilda wanted to, she could sell this house and decide to live in Leyte and rebuild the house on that lot, even though it belongs to her and the other siblings. The other siblings would not mind at all, because it benefits them. Follow me? It'd be a nice place for them to go and vacation to. They would never complain about it. I know as a fact they wouldn't. If we wanted to live in Leyte, which I would never live in Leyte, God, it's hot there. It's right across from directly across from the ocean. And they had the storms and stuff. It wasn't cool, I could live out there if I chose to live in Leyte. It's not a place I'd ever choose to live. I like it, like wherever I'm at. But if push came to shove, we have options. And she has options, certainly. It's the house in Leyte. It's just a shack, really, the way it got damaged. It's just a fucking shack is what it is. It's a shack, really. It's really more like a tiny 3-bedroom shack. The only reason they're 3 bedrooms because they put a little plywood or something in between to create. And there's beams on the ceiling. You could just throw something over out. There's no real ceiling on there except for the metal of the roof. And you could just throw a coin right over into the next room. It's just be partitions. That's the word. There are partitions in there. That's all there is. There's nothing much to that house at all, but the land is worth a lot of money. It's a small lot. Just a small lot. It's across from the ocean, though. There you go. I don't know what the plans are for the house if her mom passes away. Right now, her mom's relative, cousin, whatever she's in her late 70s or 80. She's like blind now. She has somebody that comes over to caretake her. She don't do nothing but sit around all day, don't have a radio, don't have a TV. She wants to die. She said it. She wants to die. Wants to die. And what's going to happen with that house, I don't know. It could be fixed up for a good vacation place, but I don't want to personally fix it up if her brothers and sisters don't put money into that house. No, I'm not going to fix it up for them. If it was like straight off under my girlfriend's name, that's a different story. But it's not. But we have an option if we wanted to. We can live in Leyte permanently if we want to live in a shack right now. I'm not going to do that. Why? Would I want to do that? But there are options. It's great to have options. But you have to build something pretty strong because of the hurricanes that come over there and tsunami and everything else. It's right across from the ocean. It's right across the road. Right across the road. Hold on. But at least she has options. If she ever wanted to sell this house, she can very well do so. A lot more options than I have. But she has these options. But I'm part of the equation too. If I wanted to sell this house, I could definitely push her to sell it. She might be reluctant. It's according to what the situation is. But there are no plans to sell the house. This is going to be part of the family's house. It's going to be going to the kids. So they have a future. They can make a little money every month to help them. They can rent this house out. Or they could just go out and sell it. And according to what the house is worth at the time, she has a total of 8 children. So if it's sold for, I don't know, at the time for 8 million, 10 million, they could all make $1 million each. Nothing wrong with that. To start up their lives or just basically push their lives further forward. So it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. All right, so what else is going on? What is this thing about Ricky saying he wants to get off YouTube or some shit? I don't know, I heard something on that. Ricky ain't getting off YouTube. Unless he's finding himself increasingly in more trouble. I mean, that I'd understand. And it's coming, I'll tell you that. And a little message to Barry. Barry, I'm not going to be challenging your comments on your posting on your channel. I pretty much said what I needed to say. No need to say it anymore. You got yourself in that position, you get yourself out of it. That's all I can tell you. Either pay the court or you don't. You should spend more time there. I don't give a fuck about the 250,000, man. You know, if it means you're getting more time, it's worth more to me than 250,000 pesos for you to get more time in jail, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I look at it, if you want to know the truth. 250,000 is not going to make my year or my life. But giving you more jail time, seeing you serving more jail time, it's worth a hell of a lot more than 250,000 to me. A hell of a lot more.
So I'm not going to be making any more comments anywhere in regards to you on your postings, your ridiculous postings, your desperate postings, your e-begging, and your really shitty attitude. I've had enough of you and your attitude. Hopefully you learned your lesson. I don't think you did. I don't think you ever will. You will continue this until you drop dead or somebody kills you out there that don't like you, that you owe money to or something. Your time will come. And your time did come, actually. Pardon me. Your time did come. You're in jail. All right, I'm getting off. Thanks for listening, folks. Yeah, watch out for family members. When it comes to land and money, that's when the fun begins. You know, sometimes you shouldn't even say anything to your immediate family. Really. Only the person you're closest to that you can trust. Because the minute the other members of the family find out that, for example, you inherited a house or money or whatever, might be the situation. Oh, you're going to hear from them, all right. Where's my piece of the pie? Well, this other one might want a larger piece of the pie. That small piece of the pie that maybe you decided, well, I'll give you something just to share.
The rainbow way up high, and the dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby.
Lived. And not many people could even do that. Hawaii was I don't know, man. It was a state of mind. And it's hard to explain unless you live, but not in the big cities. If you want to call them provinces, whatever you want to call them, but small towns and cities in Hawaii, on the islands. And you'd have to live there to understand. Not everything was perfect in Hawaii, or else I would have stayed there, but it was time for a change. Of course, I'd met somebody online, and that kind of what started it off, but I don't really know how. I have to look at the dates. 14, maybe 15 years, I don't know. So certainly an association of 15 years, I don't know. I don't remember when I built the house. Was it 2004? Yeah. I'm going to say about 14 years. I don't know. Anyway, it was magical. And I used to go to these really wonderful parks, some of them beachside. Cliffside was fun, being at a cliffsides. Watching these waves roll in. The breakers just, kind of hitting against the cliffside. And you hear that big thunder, that big slam and thunder, and then you see a big splash come up from the cliff. And you can see the power of the ocean, how strong it was. And sometimes I used to take my truck and be with my brother. We'd be sitting out there, take my truck, and have a beach chair or something, and just look out there and look at for whales or dolphins. It's pretty cool. Hawaii, unfortunately, has become a very expensive place for anybody to live. You couldn't even get a hotel out there for what you think is cheap, because the taxes on top of everything else that they charge you are incredibly expensive. I couldn't leave the house there and just have it as a second place to live, because it was not really producing good for me. Not really good income, especially because I was paying all the goddamn utilities. Didn't work out very well. But I kind of wish I did have a place to come back to there to visit. I don't know if that's even possible, unless you want to sleep on a beach, because nobody, I don't care how much money you have, nobody wants to pay the prices in Hawaii for what they're charging in hotels. The VAT taxes, they call it VAT taxes. It's absurd. It's insulting. But I just did a little short with Brother Is, and don't ask me to pronounce his Hawaiian name because most people can't. There's about 20 letters in there. Of course, he died, but his music lives on. It was that song, Over the Rainbow. You know, Louis Armstrong sung that. I forgot whose song it was. It wasn't Brother His song, of course, but he made it magical is what he did. And two things reminded me of Hawaii every time I went there. It was Brother Is, and it was Plumeria. Plumeria. When I was back in Seattle and I was just, vacationing in Hawaii, I swear to God, in Seattle, there was a store that sold a lot of like Hawaii related products, and they even shipped in flower leis of Plumeria. And I'm not kidding. I used to go there and I'd buy a flower lei just to smell the Plumeria because it brought me right back to Hawaii when I was vacationing. It's just, I was there, I was at the beaches, and there was a lot of Plumeria in Hawaii. And my friend Bob on the Kona side, he used to grow a lot of it. He'd go to the beach. There's like a little snorkeling beach in Kona that he used to go to. Yeah. And he was a clever guy. To get to kiss the ladies, he'd give him a flower lei. He'd give a traditional little kiss on the cheek, and say aloha. Oh, he had it going. Bob had it going. It reminds me of Bob. Bob was always on the beach, a couple times at least a week, giving out plumerias to the tourists. He was almost like the king of tourism on the Kona side, in Kailua, Kona town. But to this day, and I have plumeria here, when I smell plumeria, I am not monetized. When I want to think of Hawaii, I smell the plumeria. It just takes me back. But you move on in life, I've moved on several places, so. But I will never regret. Oh yeah, Hawaii has its problems, definitely so. Really big drug problems there, and crime, and accidents, and basically an ill attitude toward mainlanders. Although the best of the population of Hawaiians have actually moved off the islands. I'm not sure how they're going to get sovereignty if they don't even live on the island, but nevertheless. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because I loved Hawaii. But I spent so many years there. And my life actually wasn't really going. It was very hard to meet women in Hawaii. Unless you were loaded with money, you didn't live in the provinces, if you all probably still call it provinces now because I'm living in the Philippines, but if you lived in more like semi-rural communities where I lived, there's nothing going on there, man. Nah. I've had a few girlfriends living here, but not many. It just wasn't panning out for me. And sometimes, no matter how beautiful the place is that you live, no matter how beautiful, comes a point you got to make a decision. Say, can I stay here any longer? Well, of course, things change. You meet somebody from another country, and that kind of sparks an interest in living somewhere else. Well, that's what happened to me. I'd still be in Hawaii. But nevertheless, you can't go too wrong living in Hawaii. Just find a nice community, but you got to mesh with the people no matter what. I mean, you're living there. It's the same thing here in the Philippines. You don't mesh with the Philippines.
I put in microwave na.
Oh, what did you put in there?
Lasagna.
Oh, you're heating it up?
Yeah, microwave. Oh, microwave lang. Oven.
Microwave? You don't have a
Oven.
lasagna. Okay, good. In the oven. Yeah, of course. Go to have a little homemade lasagna tonight. Yeah. Now I'm talking to not many people on here about my spiritual experience living in Hawaii. Although everything was not peachy cream, there were two things that drew me to the islands. Brother Is, his song, Over the Rainbow. It was a very heavyweight Hawaiian guy who played the ukulele. And Plumerias, well, the ocean, of course, so beautiful. Different kind of ocean, really, because there was more defined waves that rolled in than you see in the Philippines, unless you want to go to Siargao or someplace like that. But there was more interesting ocean to look at. The color and the lava, how it hits the lava rocks, and the lava itself. I mean, very spiritual place. If you had to put aside some of the other stuff that kind of made Hawaii kind of negative, but it's a shame. Well, here's the thing too. Maybe it's a good thing that not everybody could live in Hawaii, because if we had everybody could afford to live there, that island would be so overpopulated and it would turn to a trash bin. So I came in at a pretty good time. I was never rich. I had a mortgage on the house. I never bought it outright. I was making payments, but it did get me there. I bought 2 acres of land for really cheap, which prompted me, my interest, everything to just build. Just get the hell out of Seattle, Washington, which was turning to shit. Totally turning to shit. Again, the drugs and everything shit going on there. Became an unclean city. It used to be a beautiful city. Yeah. They used to call it Emerald City. Beautiful city. It's changed. I don't know what it's like recently, but I know it was going downhill really fast. Beautiful state, not just, the urban areas of Seattle, but even the parks around here. I was fortunate enough to work for the parks. So that's another thing too when I was in Seattle. No matter what you think I did, I was in these beautiful parks every single day. Well, 5 days a week anyway. I was in these beautiful parks. Either was near Lake Washington or was near Puget Sound. I can't complain. So I got to do some things that were great. So whatever job you work on, if you got that freedom, which I did, get to drive around I had a route. I drive to these parks every day. Even one place was at Green Lake, which was a public park, very popular. Discovery Park was a huge park with vistas you wouldn't believe of the Olympic Mountains. It's just beautiful. It even had a salmon stream going on. You could watch the salmon spawning. So I've been living in some pretty cool places, I must say. And Philippines is a pretty cool place too. Let's not leave that out. But like I said, every place you move to or live in is going to have its good points. It's going to have its bad points. You could concentrate like some people do on there, bitching and complaining about the Philippines instead of building it up. Because everybody has something to say negative about the Philippines. Maybe they had a bad experience. It's not that bad of a place, really, when you think about it. No, it's not like your hometown. This whole idea why you moved out wherever you did, you wanted some change. And you got it. You got a big old smack in the face with the culture, Highly different. But you knew that, right? Right. You knew that. Anyway, I didn't want to make a long live here. You could feel my spirit with Brother Iz's music on my upload I just did. And I'm not kidding, when I was in Seattle, I've actually did that. I bought a flower lei from this little Hawaiian shop. Because, at that point in time, I made numerous trips to the islands. And I lived and breathed Hawaii. I go in the break room at work. And sometimes they'd be whistling the Hawaii 5-0 theme. Funny, yeah. They'll call me Mr. Hawaii. It just shows up to my supervisor, he's my lead worker, Steve Akau, a.k.a. Akau, who is Hawaiian by blood. He had a mixture too, Portuguese, I think, but you know, he was very familiar with Hawaii and spent a lot of time there. Has an uncle living in the Hilo area, and we used to love to talk about it. And they all thought that, oh, you're never going to Hawaii. Nah, you're never going there. But I did. I did. They was just freaked out. They didn't want to even look at me. I came back on another trip, you know. I wanted to visit some of the people from the Northeast District with the Parks Department. I said, where's everybody working today? They're working on a crew project at Ravenna Park, Ravenna Ravine. I went over there and Steve was receptive, but the rest of the workers, man, didn't want to look at me because they were stuck literally in a ditch. And here I am, who never even retired from the Parks Department. I actually resigned. They never believed, oh yeah, Frank's never going to live in Hawaii. Oh yeah, all right, maybe he bought 2 acres, but he's never going to live. He's got this good job, you know, civil kind of a job, you know. Never going to leave. But I did. That's why they were kind of giving me the cold shoulder when I came back because, you know, they had how many more years they had to work and stay there, and I just quit. I just resigned. Had my 2 acres out there. I took what little money I had in my retirement account that accumulated, and that was my start, and the rest is history. Oh yeah, the way they reacted, it was rich. It was rich. I always remember that. Jealous as hell. Look, man, it's like this. You got to follow your dreams, wherever they're going to take you. To be born and raised and experienced in one of the greatest cities in the world. Well, actually, I wasn't born in New York City. I was raised in New York, but not born in the city, but I spent a hell of a lot of time in the great New York City. I was proud to be associated with New York, a very beautiful state, by the way, if you want to, you know, not think that New York is just this big city in Manhattan, you know, and the boroughs. There's much more to New York State than that. Farms, rivers, waterfalls, mountains as high as 5,000 feet, in fact. Beautiful place. Meadows, beautiful trees. It was another state of mind. New York was a state of mind. It absolutely was. Then I managed to, move to Washington State. Was an equally, you know, nicer place. It was a beautiful place. I couldn't complain. I lived there a long time. 25 fucking years. 25 years, man. Beautiful mountains, again, waterfalls, you know, lakes, ocean, flora and fauna. Just a certain kind of a feel when you go to these little mountain towns by rivers and mountains, small town. Some of them were logging communities or used to be. Even the smell in the air of the pine, it's just hard to explain. And then, of course, after Seattle came Hawaii, which brings me back to where I started. It's not for everyone, but for the most part, it worked for me. Despite any problems I've had there at all, I will always say I don't regret ever moving there. It actually brought me and my brother together, even though we fought a lot. But it got me and my brother together, which we never were. Growing up, he was in his own world, with his own friends and stuff. I never hung with him. I just never hung with my brother. But when I invited him out to live with me in Hawaii, we did get to spend a lot of time together and did things together. So I have no regrets on that. I mean, it worked out for the best, for the most part, you know, for the most part, anyway. Now that's history. Life moves on, we move on, and you got to make the proper choices in life as to where you live. You hear a lot about the Philippines, and there's a lot of good things about the Philippines. It's a pretty country, but it just can't be just for the woman. And it's kind of what I did. It was actually for the woman. you know, but I wanted to explore a different culture. Sometimes life isn't happening for you where you are. You got to look forward to it. Ask most of these people. They got burnt out in the United States. It wasn't just the cost of living in, for example, the United States. It was a lot of things. You weren't close to your family no more. Why stay? You know, it wasn't happening socially for you, like finding the right woman. But then you got spoiled, though. You went to the Philippines and potpourri of you know what begins with a P and ends with a Y. No, there's a lot of women. And you could get women that are younger than you, which you've never been able to do in America. That was a plus. I don't mean rob the cradle. And a lot of these foreigners were robbing the cradle. 50 plus age year gap, which I always found was ridiculous. But hey, you know, Philippines is my new island. You know, the Philippines, it's all islands. I'm on an island. I even live in another island. I'm on an island. Can't regret it. Think before you leap. I'll end it with that. Think before you leap. Know what you're getting into. Not how many more years they had to work and stay there, and I just quit. I just resigned. Had my 2 acres out there. I took what little money I had in my retirement account that accumulated, and that was my start, and the rest is history. Oh yeah, the way they reacted, it was rich. It was rich. I always remember that. Jealous as hell.
Understand this, nobody makes you feel anything. Nobody makes you feel angry. Nobody makes you feel tense. Nobody makes you feel upset. You always decide how you're going to feel, and then if you're not careful, you will fall into a negative habit pattern of blaming the other person. Blame is the core of all negative emotions. When you stop blaming, you cut down the negative emotion tree. You cut it off, you kill it, and all the negative emotions die simultaneously.
Oh, chances are he'll be back. But I think something's going down, that's for sure. Too much heat out there with the people he pissed off and governmental fraud. I tell you, it all comes out in the wash. I've always been saying that. I don't know whether Ricky's playing with people's head or not, but he's on the run, if that's true. I told you, after a while, it's not all wavy gravy after a while, you know what I mean? Hey, good evening, Big Birch. How you doing, man? And who else? Mr. Bill, Big Birch. I see you comment on Barry's channel. Yeah, no need anymore. I'm done entertaining him. He's on his own destiny that he has to follow. I don't know. I think I've more than done my part on it. Gets to the point there's really nothing to say. You know how I always say it all comes out in the wash all the time, one of my famous sayings on here. Isn't that true? Look, Ricky, whether he's serious or not for taking a break or just getting off YouTube, whatever it may be, there's always a reason behind something. When things are getting a little bit crazy. Now, first of all, keep in mind, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Ricky. There could be a whole lot of shit going down that he don't talk about on his show. Now, you know how long Ricky's been on YouTube. You know how he's been attacking people for years. If you don't think all that shit catches up on you, then you're awfully wrong. You're all wrong. I can give you a prime example, but I don't have to. You know exactly who I'm talking about. you got to watch what you do on here. And people get vindictive. Look what happened to me. A totally bogus complaint was put against me, as you all know. And if you've been following me for years, you don't miss a trick. No, not my audience. They don't miss a trick. You think I really said those things to a certain person? You think I really deserve having a complaint against me? No, I don't. But sometimes when they get ugly, unfortunately, you have to get ugly too. That's just the way it is. You know, ironically, I was just watching this movie called Night Shoot about these college students. They're in an art school. How familiar is that? In an art school. And they wanted to come up with some crazy material to make a film festival or something, you know. So, anyway, it just turned out ugly with these killers in there, and then the scene got uglier and uglier. Started off real innocent, but one guy really wanted to push it too far. He wasn't happy with some of the mundane things he was doing. So he got kind of involved in something, even witnessed somebody killing somebody. He didn't say nothing. He wound up getting killed himself. You see, it's not, you don't plan on these things to happen to you, but they just do. A lot of people, you don't mind me just walking around here, gotta stretch my legs around the yard here. A lot of people start off innocent on YouTube, and then they get caught up in another famous expression of mine is the vortex of shit. Oh, I got involved with it. Everybody got involved. They got sucked into the vortex of YouTube, right? They all did. We all did. I did too. Well, the last video, it's like me saying I'm getting off, but hey, I got off for 3 months. Nobody thought I'd do 72 hours. So you can't, you know, you got to sometimes take people serious. It's hard for a lot of people to get off. And let me tell you why most people continue doing redundancy videos all the time. It comes to a point where I've never run out of material, but it comes to a point where they just run out of things to say. Like, Philippines through the eyes of an expat, Mike's Philippine Adventures. All these people, they just run out of things to say. So they have to create stories. And if you're sharp enough, and you're not fucking brain dead, you'll figure it out. And number one, not only it's redundant, okay, but when their ratings start to fall, you hear them talking about these algorithms. Oh, I don't got as much viewers as I had last time, they say. I hear it all the time. Yeah. And they have to create something. They have to create something that's going to catch people's attention. It could be clickbait. Hey, hello, how you doing? Bowel movement. Okay. When I go into the boudoir, that's when I turn the camera on.
Those persons there outside.
Oh, that was me out there. Yeah. I'm painting the windowsills and I'm peering in on you, Gilda. Yeah. Here you go. Oh, my own girlfriend. Yeah, there you go. There you go. See what I mean? Anyway, as I was saying, it comes to a point they don't know what to create anymore. You gotta admit, though, although a lot of people are not gonna admit it, I am very factual on here. And the only thing you ever hear me talk about, the only thing, and let's get real about it. Hey, you might as well turn the AC on. They're using it in there. We're gonna run up the bill. Let's just run it up. I thought they didn't like the chilled out living room. Okay, well, we're paying the bill. That's how it works. Your channel's growing. Good job with algos. That's nothing to do with algorithms on my show, but then they get worried. Oh, I noticed that my algorithms are off or something. We got to set these algorithms going. You think the people on a fucking heart machine or something, monitoring their blood pressure. Oh, my blood pressure's too low. Got to raise it higher. They're all fucking insane as far as I'm concerned. Okay, here's a good question for all y'all. Of all these popular vloggers on here, I mean, the ones in our genre, who's that?
My son.
Your son? That ain't just. Who is that? That ain't him. Doesn't even look like him.
Brian.
Oh, he looked a little different in there. Okay. Sorry about the side conversation. I'm doing life here, you know. Okay, where was I? I kind of botch up my own thoughts sometimes. Okay, I'm good for that. I'm good for something, right? Yeah. And people get to if you notice the creeps out there, you know, Ricky, you know, Nico, down the line, Popeye, creeps like Scotty Boy, who almost got the shit beat out of him from a lady boy. You know, nobody wants to have a camera pointed in their face unless there's permission. It's supposed to be a law now anyway. All these people, they got psychological issues, every single one of them. They all got psychological issues. That's why they band together so well. And all you're seeing now is more and more desperation to find topic matter to keep their so-called famous fucking, and I hate the word, algorithms going. It's almost like their blood flow stops, and they're monetized, and if they don't get the algorithms going, God forbid they lost $1 that month on their monetization. God forbid. You know, Gilda listens to all this shit sometimes, and she don't have to say anything. It's like, all right, you know, you're on, but look what you've been through before, Frank. She don't have to say anything to me, but she does sometimes. I don't blame her. It just seems to me that there has to be a purpose to be on here, and if I'm not aiming for monetization, and I'm doing things on here totally free and clear, what is the purpose? Let me tell you what the purpose is with a lot of foreigners, even myself. And I talked about this, and I can be redundant too, but in a good way. When you move to a foreign country, even though you may not want to hang around with foreigners, you know, otherwise just stay where you were, if you will. And it's a way of compensating for what you've been used to all your life in a particular country that you were brought up in, your own culture, cultural values, moralities, and all that stuff. When you move into a foreign country, you're stripped of all that. You're running around naked in a sense. You're stripped of everything you knew, of everything you grew up with, the laws, the culture, the politics. Stripped down naked to the bone when you're living in a foreign country. It's not your country, and I don't care if you got, you know, an SR or whatever the fuck, SRRV, 13A. It don't matter. It's just kind of a badge of honor to some people. But you are not, no matter what, you're not a citizen of this country if you weren't born and raised. It's like you decide to go into the wilds of the Borneo jungle. There might be some dangers out there in that jungle. People, animals, and you're taking that chance when you go to a foreign country. You don't know what's going to come at you, why or when or if. Culture's different. You look at somebody the wrong way, they might take it offensively or defensively. You know? You start being generous with people and they take advantage of your generosity and they want more. And if you don't give them more, you can get hurt. Look at Stephen, whether his story is real or not. Stupid vloggers, I hate all of them, Mr. Bill says. You know, we were talking about the dynamics of his wife's family, you know, having to do with the grandmother giving land and all that stuff to her, and they're all out on the edge, hoping that the baby dies. I mean, as I said, they should He just got that house built up or whatever. He needs to sell the house, get the fuck out of that area. Okay? That's what he needs to do. Don't tell his family where the hell they're moving. Families could be terribly vindictive as well as YouTubers. Perch says, Licky said he's a resident of the Philippines with a special visa. Well, it's kind of an artificial residency thing. I hope Aloe steals their battery chargers. Good one there. Can you do that, Aloe? Aloe DeVinta's on here too. 15 strong, come on with the thumbs up. Oh, what am I worried about the thumbs up? I'm just talking about fucking algorithms with these people. That was a fart if you didn't hear it. Okay. Ooh, that's a smelly one too. She hits me, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sniff that one out, baby. Yeah, anyway, they're all crazy. You gotta admit, if not just to yourself, that all these culprits on here, all the shitheads that come on here and attack people, they all have one thing in common: mental illness. Now, this is something you don't even have to think about. Listen to these people. Look at Ricky as a great example. When his eyes bulge out, you see the big nostrils of his to the camera, looks like a fucking pig. Big space between his teeth, ranting and laughing in some kind of bizarro world way. The guy's got problems. Duh. It's not all an act, my friends. It's not all an act. Sometimes the true character of a person shows out on their video. It's not an act. Not a special visa, but special needs. Yeah, there you go. Maybe a special needs visa. 75% of these people shouldn't even be in this country. And how they got through immigration, I really don't know. Ricky has this kind of political background. He's a dangerous guy. You see him at rallies. He's so proud of the fact that he was going fucking crazy, yelling at, I don't know, Hillary or whatever. The guy's fucking crazy, man. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm awfully surprised that somebody did not kill this guy yet. Or didn't get himself killed. I think what's going on with him, there's a lot of pressure. Okay, there's a couple of things going on with him. Medical and psychological, and outside pressure. Let's say three things. Ricky is diabetic, he's hypertensive, and whatever issues that he has besides mental issues. For all I know, he could be on medicine for mental, because the only way he got out of the, and he's getting a veteran's pay. It's not for anything physical at the time. The guy is mental. The guy is completely mental. And although you find a lot of entertainment from him, just like you did with Fazio, they all had something in common. They're all mental. Fazio is totally mental. Drew Brevis is fucking mental. He's a fucking stalker. All these people have something wrong with them. Popeye's got something wrong with him. Obviously so. You can't name a character on here that doesn't have something wrong with him. Supposedly, he's retired, you know. Is she still, what are you talking about? Oh. I haven't watched her show lately. You mean, yeah. Philippine Antics? Yeah. They're all fucking crazy. Now, if you haven't figured it out by now, Barry, oh, you don't even have to think about that one. You don't even have to think about that one. Who in their right mind, after getting incarcerated or getting 5 charges against them, having to do with social media, is going to go back on camera like he did in the past, repeat, rinse and repeat? You are mentally ill if you do something like that. Look where he's at now. And guess what? he still hasn't learned. Mental illness. Mental illness. People like Scotty Boy, he's not in his right fucking mind. Philly in the Philippines, he's definitely not in his right state of mind. Okay, so like, you've got a partner, you got a wife or something, right? You're in this country in the Philippines. You're retired. You're supposed to be enjoying your life. Then what do? You do the stupidest things in the world that could stand in the way of your freedom, or you do the stupidest things in the world that could stand in the way of your physical health, because somebody could possibly harm you, just to make a show, just to get ratings, just to get the algorithms flowing. And you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Fuck the algorithms. You're getting older, you're retiring. Get the fuck off YouTube if you must. Go on with this so-called life that you keep on boasting about, where a lot of people say they love the Philippines, and all they do is maybe hang around Angeles City on Walking Street. Or if they go anywhere, even in Thailand, they're all going to the red light districts. What, there's none in America? Or Britain? Or Australia? This is what you do with your time when you come to the Philippines? I'm at least living a family life here. There's nothing crazy going on around here. It's just every day you might find it bored, but most retiree people are pretty much living like I am. No, we don't go many places and nothing like that. Watch TV, whatever, do chores, buy food, go to Cebu occasionally. Nothing, radical. But this is what most people actually do. But they don't want to show it on their YouTube. Everything's so exciting. The 5-star lifestyle bullshit, which is not. We've already proved that Ricky's not having a 5-star lifestyle. If he's living in a tramp apartment in Mandawi at the Decca Homes, he's not living a 5-star lifestyle. He ain't making no $8,500 a month, I'll guarantee you that. There's no fucking way, right? Then you got all these people that do have the money. Are they really enjoying their life? They're using it as a power tool. That's all it is, to get the ladies around them. If they ran out of money, you think these ladies would still be around them? You know they wouldn't. You absolutely know they wouldn't. I gotta read Aloe's. Ricky has... Okay, let me read this. I should put my fucking glasses on. That would help. If I could find them. Here's one of them. Why have I got my cap on here? I don't know. I'm going crazy too. They're all going crazy. We're all going crazy. Okay, let's read this here. Alo Divinta. Ricky has nowhere to go in the States. He just travels from red light district to red light district in Southeast Asia. Sometimes he visits Germany when he runs out of money, stays with his daughter. Yeah, I got a feeling on that too, Alan. Mr. Bill says, not living the Alan Fry lifestyle. Aloe says, LOL, that dude is no Alan Fry. Yeah. And Aloe says, Philippine antics is complete trash. I have to agree with you. Have you guys not figured this shit out yet? What's going on YouTube and why they're doing the things they do? And sometimes they get really ugly. Like with Barry's girlfriend, what she's doing. I don't find it funny at all. I'm not laughing. And she's not going to be laughing. Because when this whole thing blows over, you think I'm stopping right there? Good or bad, whatever the direction takes on this, do you actually think I haven't been planning and doing paperwork? Do you actually think me, of all people, is going to let something like this pass up, where it's affecting me, my family life, possibly my future? You got another thing coming. Someone else is running Barry's channel. Fact. I don't know. Barry gets to go on his phone now and then. He just can't do videos. Because if he could do videos, he would be doing videos. You know that, and I know that. Nothing stops him doing a video. And do I believe that his girlfriend has broken up from him? Well, someone had brought that up to me, although she says she's now single on her own show. Both of them lie through their asses, so you don't know what to believe. But you also think to yourself, it's not him who replies in the comments. Well, if you go there and you click on it, it does go to his page, Aloe. Maybe there's some people doing it, but no, a lot of the comments are from him. And especially if it's on his own channel, I suspect it's the asshole from the copycat channel. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Nothing goes without, shall I say, everybody has a final destination, like the movie. Nothing goes unrewarded, let's put it that way. And if you think I'm just sitting here and just letting a complaint happen, if you think that I'm going through all this shit because of her, that there's not going to be any legal recourse on this, then you don't know me very well. I told you she opened up a can of worms a long time ago. A long time ago. And that's worse than what Barry did to me. Keep that in mind. It's worse, that complaint, than what Barry was doing to me. So if that gives you any idea of how I feel about this, now you understand me completely. Yeah. Oh, she's not getting away with this. We're not talking about nothing physical, nothing threatening, nothing like that at all. Just legal. That's the way I like to keep it. Legal. There's no way I'm going to pass up on this. No way in the world. No way in the world. I thought about it. I sat down and gave it a lot of thought. And I said, as a result of that complaint, what has put me through, not being able to renew my visa, on an administrative thing, but it don't matter whether it's administrative or not. It shouldn't be where it is. Everything that's based on total, complete lies. Just to appease her criminal felony boyfriend. They're actually made for each other. Now that I think of it, they're actually made for each other. Oh, DQ. The latest was a replay is Quentin. Oh, good old Quentin. He's around. And I don't know how naive you people are. And a lot of you are. He's never been gone. Quentin Baloo goes under different troll names. He was very much involved in YouTube. It was a drama in his life that he loved. He is not away from YouTube. He has not been away from YouTube. In fact, there is a distinct possibility that he, a long time ago, here we go, get this, moved back to the Philippines. Don't forget, she has family out here. Okay? He left this country for reasons. He was under fire. But he went back to America and worked. Both of them worked shoveling shit at some kind of a chicken farm or some shit like that to save some money because they wanted to buy their own place. I would not be surprised if he's been back in Philippines a long time ago. The Winter says, Shaw, in my opinion, is absolute trash, period. Well, your opinions are welcome. I don't share everybody's opinion, and I'll just keep it to myself since there's a complaint going on. I'm not going to say anything derogatory about her. Wait till this is all over. It did freestyle. But she wanted to be in a relationship with him. She wanted to go along with the Good Boys Club. She obviously got the lawyer taking care of to write that up. She couldn't write that up, obviously. The people that had money, although they're in complete denial that they had anything to do with that at all. And you know who I'm talking about. I think you know exactly who I'm talking about. He said they had absolutely nothing to do with it. I would never do that. Believe me, if you would see and understand behind the scenes what was going on, you'd be shocked on how many people were involved to try to not only knock me off YouTube, but to try to get me incarcerated, deported, whatever, you know. And they think it's all funny until it happens to them. And a lot of times it does happen to them. Surprise, surprise. Look at Barry. He's the prime example. I can't give you a better example than that. Excuse me, I gotta get some water here. I'll tell you one thing. He ain't having no fun time where he is. No, he's not having a fun time at all. And with all these storms and rain that was happening, I can imagine how humid and smelly of piss and shit and mosquitoes and cockroaches and rats running around that place. And I don't care if he's in a detention facility, part of the prison. It's all the fucking same. There are two prisons out here that are known to be the most worst prisons in the world. He's in one of them. Surprise! He never thought he'd be there, did he? Oh, no. He swore up and down. Swore up and down. It's never gonna happen to me. It's never gonna happen to me, guys. Send me some money, guys. Send me some money, guys. Goes out and buys booze. And you all fell for that shit like a bunch of fucking idiots that you are. I saw through that guy from day one. 21 strong here. I don't know because I can't go there for some reason. If you send me a link somewhere, I can go there, but I don't follow it. The last thing I saw she wrote was, I'm single again. Yeah. DeWinter says, Frank is the type of dude who does not fuck around. He goes all in, and I respect that. Seek and destroy. Well, Aloe, it's only when you have to. I've held back on that one dude for a long time. Long time. Fazio thought he could take me down by going to the, what do you call office? NBI. But he doesn't realize I come prepared. And I came with a real lawyer. In fact, the agency I was dealing with, I should have dealt with again. 100,000 pesos just to retain them. It was a big agency. One of the best agencies in town. She came with me, that was it. Fazio, in his own style, had to open his mouth because none of them could shut their mouth. He got aggressive in front of the MBI people, which shown his true colors. He couldn't find any evidence on me. And I don't know if you were following that at the time, but his case got dismissed against me. He was trying to get me, but he didn't get me. In fact, the talk with the MBI people after that, they said they know the guy's fucking crazy. They actually went and saw some of his videos. One guy, there was two guys, but one guy didn't bother, but one guy did. He just wanted to see what it was all about. He knew that the guy was fucking crazy out of his mind. Fazio didn't have a chance against me. Barry didn't have a chance against me. Nope. It's, the name of the channel is supposed to be, something like either My Life as a Filipina. That might have been one of them. My Life as a Filipina, but there's a lot of channels that have that name or are close to it, and a lot of other shit comes up. I could be a lion when I want to be, okay? Or I could be a laughing hyena and just laugh this all off, but there's some things that you can't remove yourself from. There's some things that you have to say to yourself, okay, it was funny for a while, you know, let him have his say, let him call me some names, but this just went on and on and on with this one guy. and then he was trying to ruin my reputation on and off camera. He got involved in my tenants. You wouldn't believe the stuff Fazio did in regards to Fazio. He did a lot behind the scenes, plotting and planning to take me down. Didn't turn out the way they wanted to, because not one goddamn dime ever went to my tenants, and not one goddamn dime is ever going to go in the hands of my tenants. So who lost a civil case? Well, it's according to how you want to look at it, what end of the stick you're on. Titan or been Titan. No, I could be a Titan when I want to be. Because part of me don't care. I'm 71 fucking years old. I will stick to my morals. I will stick to my values. I don't like when people step on my toes. Once, and actually, this is the truth. I even gave a truthful story about this. If I have to repeat it, I will. And I think I will. As proof. I let people get away with something, then it goes too far. I say I had enough. I worked with somebody at Corvette's department store, which was in Pelham, New York, Pelham, which borders Mount Vernon, New York, where I lived. Had this job in there in the record department, floor sales, whatever we did. End of the night, they make you clean up and sweep and all that. His name is John Carr, C-A-R-R, like Donald Carr, only this was John Carr. A real creepy guy. Used to talk all these stories about going to Manhattan, to New York City, and going to these red light places, whatever, where they give you a massage. He talks about getting one. It's called Around the World, and they do everything. He goes, I just go there, get my pack of smokes, and go down there, and I order Around the World. You should try it. Just a real creepy guy. Well, sweeping up that night, I don't know what got in him. I never liked him to begin with. He kept on sweeping the refuse on the floor on my feet, on my shoes. I'm thinking, and I told the story before, but I'll repeat it. I said, what the fuck you doing? Stop that. He does it again. I said, John, cut the shit out. He does it once more. That was it. Immediately, within a half a millisecond, my right hand, my strongest arm, was around his neck. Our boss, the manager, had to come over and break us up. Now, it didn't end there. John was mad, so we went in the parking lot to go home. I had to go take a bus. I didn't drive. And so did he, back to the Bronx or whatever he worked at. So he got into me with the parking lot. Lucky for him that the manager guy for the record department was outside going to his car. So John tried to get a little frisky with me in a parking lot. Didn't do him much good. I had him in a headlock. My knee went to his head about 5 times. If the manager didn't come over there to stop it, he would have been pretty hurt. See, the thing I worry about is that I get an adrenaline rush for something like that. Somebody better stop me. Because I may not be able to stop myself. Well, I'm in more control of myself than that, but I think it's situational what's going on. If I saw my own blood, oh, forget it. Forget it. I'm one of these people, if I saw my own blood in a fight, I will fight to the finish, even if I got the shit beat out of me. I'm going to get something out of this fight. I don't care how big you are, how fat you are, how tall you are. That's a fact. It's no bullshit. Get my adrenaline going and there's no stop. Fortunately for me, I am a peaceful person. I don't like violence whatsoever, but I will do everything in the world I possibly can to protect myself or the people I love. At my age, I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't know, I may have a lot of years left. What if I don't? You think I'm worried about going to jail? Protecting my family, protecting myself? Then you don't know me. Barry is very lucky. And let me tell you, I'm not even going to go into detail what I mean about that. He is very fortunate. I'm not talking about TGIF. No, I'm not. We're not talking about TGIF at all. let's just say, without saying anything, is that I'm glad I took this to a legal level. In fact, it was the best thing in the world that I could have done. IKEA says, does your daughter fight like you? Does she have your tenacity that... Yes, she does. She, some incidents on that. When she was married, whenever she had something going on with her husband, she was mad at him. One day, his motorcycle, they had a little van and they had a motorcycle. And her husband, Michael, had this motorcycle parked in a parking space for motorcycles at the apartment complex over in Kent, Washington. She took the family van and she crashed into his motorcycle just to get even with him. Another time she drove him so crazy that he was banging the walls with his fists so he didn't have to hit her. And he actually did damage to the wall that he had to fix. He had to plaster it up and paint it and all that stuff. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And not to mention the time that she first started dating this guy, and I told him to be home at a certain time, 11 o'clock. She was living under my roof. This was in the house I owned in Seattle. It's a nice house. And he's never even, I've never met the guy. As a loving parent, who cares and loves for his child, I want to know who you're dating, especially your first time. But her hormones were flying and all that stuff. You know how that works, okay? So, finishing the story again. Said to be home at 11. It was like 12 or 1 or something. I don't know. She wasn't home. I was just sitting in the chair, concerned about her. He wasn't even a gentleman enough to introduce himself to me. And I'm a little bit old-fashioned. No, I'm a lot old-fashioned, actually. So I got mad about that. I said, I told you to be home by 11. And she kind of got into it with me. I said, I should kick this fucking guy's ass for not having respect to introduce himself to me, to get you home at the proper time. So when I said I should kick his ass, what did she do? She called the cops on me. On me! All right, so they came over. I explained what was going on. The guy said, yeah, I've got a daughter myself, I understand. And he told her. The policeman told her, you're living under your father's roof, right? If he says for you to be home at 11 o'clock, did you get home at 11 o'clock? Your father's right. The policeman agreed with me. And even, talked about he has children himself. And he has a certain amount of discipline when it comes to his children. He doesn't like it, especially him being a police officer, and he knows what goes on in the streets. I don't know what this guy's all about. It turned out he was a creep after all. My instincts were always right. This guy got into porno shit with kids on the fucking internet. That's why he got arrested, went to prison for a few years. She doesn't trust my judgment. Not all kids will trust their parents' judgment. That's how it happened. Oh yeah, she has a temper when she wants to. What used to bother me is that, hey, I don't mind giving anybody advice. I certainly don't mind giving my own child advice. That's what a parent does, but, they don't take your advice. What else can you do? Then they call you again with yet another problem. You give them advice again, because that's what you do. You're a father. A father who's playing both roles of mother and father, because the mother's not in the picture. Follow me? So anyway, when that happened with the cop, he says, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to tell her to leave? You want to allow her to stay here? I decided right then and no, I want her to leave. Our father loves his daughter more than anything in the world. I had to tell her to leave. I already got divorced. I divorced my wife. I lost her. Now my kid. It was a hard thing to do. But as greedy as she was and self-centered as she was, well, Dad, can I take the bed with us? I go, my bed, she says. I said, no, it's not your bed. I bought the bed. It's part of the house. But I gave in. Yeah, you could take your bed. So, had it arranged that they got a truck, took the bed. They stayed over to grandmother's place in a fucking basement with spiders. Oh, God, I'm telling you. They don't care. I went to Hawaii. How many kids get to go to Hawaii? I took her to Hawaii about at least 3 times. And the last time, guess what? It was my birthday. My birthday. And she was dating this guy at the time. We're talking about human nature here, so this is all connected to about everything I'm talking about on here. But she missed Michael. She wanted to be with Michael because she's been to Kona before. Why did she come with me then? Because she's been to Kona 2 times. That's mostly where I took her. It was Kona 3 times. I guess she got bored of Kona. Kailua Kona. But I didn't force her to come. How many kids get to go to Hawaii 3 times, if not 4? I don't remember. 3 at least, I know that. How many kids get to go to Hollywood? How many kids get to go to the Billboard Music Awards? I took my daughter. When I could have took a date or something. Any chick would have ran with me to the Billboard Awards. Snoop Dogg was there. No, not that I'm into Snoop Dogg. That turned out to be a little bit too wild for her, so we went next door to Universal Studios. We stayed at the La Maison Hotel. She's been to Canada with me. She's been to New York with me. I mean, fuck. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Appreciate the things I do. But she's not like that. Then she finds another bum to date who was a fucking drug head, pothead that worked in a fucking head shop. Barely working. Flirting with the girl he works with, in fact, fucking her on the side while he's dating my daughter. I saw through him. But I love him, Dad, but I love him. I said, what's to love? What's wrong with you? Why do you hurt yourself that way? And speaking of hurting yourself, not only did she drive her van into her husband's motorcycle, but she used to what do you call that? Not mutilate, self-punish herself. I think she used to punch her arms or something. So, forgive me. Not forgive me, but please don't ever tell me I was not a good father. I catered to every need of hers, but you can't please everybody in this world, whether it's YouTubers, family, friends, employers, whatever. You could only do the best you can, but if it gets out of hand, and this is the whole point of the story, if it gets out of hand, you got to do something about it. I decided to kick her out of the fucking house. Get your shit. Same thing I did to the mother. Get your shit, call your sister Bobby up, come over and get your shit and get the fuck out of here. That's because she cheated on me. Not at the house, she didn't cheat on me. It was on the job, if you can believe that. I even met the guy. I told him, go to, meet me at the U District. Or we call it the Ave. It was called the University District because University of Washington was here. Okay, the Ave. So, over near Jack in the Box. I met him because I wanted to discuss what the fuck happened. I wanted to know. The guy was brave enough to come and meet me. I came in a friend's van. Friend had a baseball bat just in case. I didn't carry nothing. In case he brought some friends and something was kind of funny. I talked to the guy, raised my voice. I said, that was my fucking wife. And the guy even told me all the details of what they did. Where she worked, at the naval base. The Commissioned Officers Club. They worked in the kitchen. They went up to the barracks upstairs and they were fucking around. So I caught her on the phone, and I was smart. I'm smarter than you think, folks. I went out with my friend Terry. Let's go out. There's some trouble going on with her at the time. I said, let's go out for a beer, friend. I'll buy her a pitcher. Okay. So as we left in his car, I noticed that she was peeking out the blinds to wait for me to leave so she could get back on the phone with this, I don't even want to say it on here. and I knew something was going on. So what I did, I had a cell phone, while I was at the bar with Terry, sucking down a pitcher of beer. I didn't drink much, but I decided to drink a little that night, finish the beer. Oh, no, stay, come on, stay till we finish the beer. I said, something's going on, Terry. Because I called my number, and it was busy. And I even knew his number. How did I get his number? As I said, I'm smarter than you folks think I am. His number was busy. So I said to Terry, okay, I'm going home now. Drive me back. I said, here, just drive me up to the next house. She doesn't see the lights of your car. And I purposely left the back door that goes to the yard open. So I got out, went around the back of the house, peered into semi-broken blind on the window, one of the levelers, seen she was on the phone. Now, knowing that the door was unlocked, I just went in the door. I said, who the fuck you talking to? I know you're not talking to your sister Bobby. Get off the phone. Sat there, shocked, quiet. I said, you want to really tell me what's going on? Have you been unfaithful to me? Eventually came out, yeah. With who? The guy from work? Yeah. That was it. I didn't hit her, nothing. I got pissed off. I had to kick something, so I kicked the front of my stereo, broke the glass on there, on my receiver. Okay. So, it wasn't immediate. It went about up to maybe a week. And things were not good. She knew I meant business. She looked in my eyes. She looked in my eyes. Practically bugging out of my head every time I looked at her. The time I had to sleep in the same bed with her, it was hard to do. Because I'd be thinking of him boning her up, whatever he did. I actually know the details. Can you believe that too? That's the harsh thing about it. I know what they did. So when shit hit the fan, I just said, you're out of here. Call your sister Bobby up. 24 strong here. Call your sister Bobby up and get the fuck out of here. Lo and behold, within 2 weeks, lo and behold, I had a lawyer. I told you, I don't fuck around. Got the divorce papers ready. She was served in a little shimmy shack trailer in West Seattle where her mother lived, in a little shitty mobile park community. She got shocked. I told you, if I've been betrayed by somebody, well, you got to do something about it. It wasn't a loss because the truth is I stayed with her and married her because the kid. I wanted to give her a name. I told you I'm old-fashioned in that way. I wanted to give the kid a name, you know. I wasn't in love with this woman. She was good company. Good fuck every now and then. That's about it. She was so fucking sick that she had sex with her own sister's boyfriend. I could go on and on. I could tell you things she did over in Yachats, Oregon. When she had gotten out of high school, I'm not even going to tell you what she did there, because that's too gross. And these are all things I found out later. I said, well, Frank, what the fuck are you doing with this woman, man? You that lonely that you needed her in your life? Jesus Christ. And I figured when she was all about, and I suspected she was cheating on me, well, I ran into Julie, who coincidentally lived about a 5-minute walk from my apartment. Actually, I ran into her in a local bar that had all the arcade machines and all that. It was a very popular sports bar right up the block from where I lived. And we had a pitcher of beer. And we got loose and went to her place. I fucked the shit out of her. When my friend's band was doing their 45, they had a release. the Socialites. It was a local Seattle band. I was their photographer. I met the art director on there. We were celebrating the release of their first record. We went to the same fucking place. We drank a pitcher of fucking beer, man. I fucked the shit out of her in a parking lot in her car. And I had the balls to bring her over to my apartment and introduce her to my wife. Yeah, I had the balls to do that. See, I know what's going on behind the scenes. It's not like I'm this bad guy. No, man, it's called touche. Touche. I should wear a touche turtle shirt. I got a good, lively audience tonight, baby. You betcha. You betcha, as Passport says. You betcha. Oh, high five, by the way. Can't leave you out. So, I'm a little smarter than you think I am. I know what's going on around me. I don't care who it is, whether it's my girlfriend, whether it's this or that. I don't care who it is. I've always been a curious person. I've always been observant of the world around me. Yeah, I'm one of those guys who actually looks at trees when he walks down the block in the wonder of the trees. My mind is always thinking, always thinking, always thinking, always thinking. Maybe too much sometimes, but I'll tell you what. I saved myself for some really lousy relationships and a really lousy future. If I would have stayed, would have come some of the women that I'd gone out with, man, would have been big ass trouble. So when I divorced her, hey man, I was sowing my oats, eating my oats and sowing my oats. All those years, I never got married. Big spread of years, 20 years go by, whatever. And I was playing the field in Seattle, man. I played it pretty goddamn well. Hell yeah. Yippee-yo-ki-yay. I had more ass under me than most people on YouTube ever had in their fucking life combined. Why? Well, it was Seattle. It was a happening place, for one. And I had my own little charm, I guess. I don't know, my New York accent. I don't know, my swarthy good looks or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. Let's just say I was successful anyway. Without me rubbing my knuckles against my chest. Things just happened. I wasn't complaining about it. Oh, I met a few psychopaths, believe me, I did. But the majority of women were pretty cool. And a couple of them were keepers. A couple of them were, actually 3 of them were keepers. One thing or another happened, but it's a good thing it happened. Call it fate, whatever you want to call it. But some things were just not meant to be. And as it turned out, I'm glad it happened. So, long form answer, IKEA. Yeah, my daughter has some psychological issues. There's no question about it. There's no examining it. Nothing. Her behavior is not normal, and she did a terrible thing by not allowing my own grandchildren to be in my life. It was a terrible thing. Really. The kids should make their own decisions, and that's where people like her go wrong. They should make their own decisions, not based on the mother's influence, just because it's the mother. They carry my blood too. It's sad. It's a sad story. My only child, that I know of anyway. My only child. Come on, girls. I got my children right here. Lots of them. Come on, girls. There you go. I got them all here. I got my family now. I don't need blood. And everybody says blood's thicker than water, but I will disagree with you till the cows come home. Don't matter blood or not. They either treat you with respect or they don't. And I just happen to be one of these people that pretty much demands respect because I always give it. And when it's not given back to me, I don't give it back to them. Whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're my own child, I don't care who you are. I didn't agree with my brother's lifestyle, so I never became what my brother did. Never, ever got into this drug scene deal and all the shit he went through, getting beat up, drug deals, coming home on heroin, dunking his Oreos in the milk and falling asleep and not even remembering what the fuck he was doing, hurting my mother's feelings and all that stuff. Here we're getting down and personal tonight. Because I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. So make any judgments you want on me, but understand one thing about me. Understand it really well. I'm not a person to fuck with. I don't even want to fuck with myself. I'm not a person to fuck with. Forget about my height, which I have no problem with, by the way. Forget about my fucking age. It's a fucking number. But if you hurt somebody I love, or if you try to hurt me, I'm going to fight back. I don't care who the fuck you are. But I'll do it in a way that's sensible. I could take a legal direction, which I did, and that went very well, thank you very much. Everything, even down to the not continuing the case till the end, because I had to rub some brain cells together, because I knew the judge could have just slapped him on the wrist. So I had to use the brain that I got left at my age, and I said, no. Let him get to the point where he pleads guilty. Because he knows we presented the evidence. He couldn't deny the evidence. He could not deny the evidence. That was it. Big screen and all. Everybody in the room see it. He saw it. He was there. His lawyer. It was over. It was over. That was it. He pleaded guilty because he had no choice. He had no choice. Then it went on from there. They wanted to take revenge, so he got his girlfriend to get revenge on me to make a complaint against me. But she thinks it's going to work out her way. It just may not. What I tell these people is don't hold your breath. Now, I'm going to be the one to decide. If it doesn't go my way, my lawyer is already retained. They don't use that word out here, though. I don't know why I keep on using it. That's the word we use in America. Retaining your lawyer. I forgot what they call it out here. I'm getting old, sorry, I already got it planned. On paperwork already, what I plan to do if it doesn't turn out my way and I have to wind up going to the Court of Appeals. Because that would be the next step. Then the Board of Directors. The Board of Inquiry. No. After the Court of Appeals, it's one or the other. It's that or go to the Board of the Secretary. I got it all planned out in regards to whatever answers they're going to give at immigration. What she put me fucking through, and she's putting me through right now, you think I'm going to be lazy Larry and just sit back on all this shit? Well, she's trying to destroy me and my family? Then you got another thing coming. You know me better than that. Oh, I may not be big and muscular. I don't create a cast of big shadow when I walk. I may be a certain age. Don't put anything past me. Don't put anything past me. Because the one crazy part of me is that I demand justice when it's due. Call me deputy dog, call me whatever you fucking want, but it's all for myself. Self-satisfaction. To right a wrong if it's been done to me or people that I love. I know all the people that talked about Gilda. I didn't forget anything they said, any one of them. And if you think in any way that I didn't have anything to do in part with Ricky's decision to maybe get off YouTube, I don't know if he really is. But I will tell you something, that he is under pressure. I don't talk about it. I've done plenty regarding Ricky. You just don't know about it because I just don't talk about it. Ricky was involved with a lot of shit with this having to do with me. He talked shit on me, on my girlfriend. He used me to meet Bama in TGIF. It was all planned. I did him a big favor by signing an affidavit of him against Fazio. Then he turned on me afterwards. He's self-serving. Ricky is self-serving. You couldn't trust him as far as you could pick the guy up and throw him. And I couldn't do that. I don't feel I have anything to fucking lose in regards to my age. I'm not going to my deathbed without taking care of business. Legal, of course. But Barry should be very, very happy with the thought that he's better off where he is. Because the alternative, he would not have liked it. And I came really close. That much I'll tell you, I came really close. I never talked about it. And I'm not going to give you details. Real close to not going the legal way. But you got to obey the law out here. So I had no choice. Make it legal. Because a cut can heal. A wound can heal. Bones can mend. Did they go back to doing the same thing again? And what did you achieve? Well, you received your 5 minutes of satisfaction by beating the shit out of the guy. Then he heals up. And he does the same thing over and over again. So I figured in my mind, that was not the way to go. Because you see, I think things out. I don't act impulsively. I think things out. I measure things. I had to come to a point and say, okay, what do I do now? You can't do this because you can get in trouble. You can't hurt somebody. And believe me, I would have been able to tear Barry apart, limb by limb. With no question in my mind, even with a 20-year difference. I've met the guy several times. I sized him up when I first seen him. I could have hurt this guy really, really bad. The problem is, if I started on him, I probably wouldn't stop, and I'd really be in trouble. I get my adrenaline going with this guy. He'd be hurt really bad. But again, you have to think clearly. Violence is not the answer. It just creates more problems. Just take it to court. Take a legal course. And do what you have to do. That's all you can do. You can't fuck around in this country like that. You don't have the advantages of USA. USA, you are, not guilty until proven. Out here, you're guilty until you're proven innocent, so you got to keep that in mind. No, I'm not happy about his girlfriend, what she did. And I know who the players are behind that. They deny it, but I know who the players are. I'm not stupid. Obviously, I'm not, because I'm the only one in here that have been able to do anything to Barry at all. Everybody was too afraid to get involved. They sure like listening to the stories and get entertained by Barry and me. But as much as you hated the fucking guy, all talk, no action. Well, I was action. I decided to do something, to spend my own money, my own time, and I did more work than my lawyers did. I did more work than my lawyers did. Or the evidence, because it's your job, not the lawyers. If you didn't know that, it might be a little different in America. They'll investigate, find evidence. No. Here, it's your job to get the evidence to the lawyer. He sits down and he does the paperwork and sends the paperwork in and he makes court appearances. Is that what they do? They are not responsible for getting evidence, only taking the evidence, turning it into paper and video form, and presenting it to the proper authorities. You are the one that has to come up there. And I spent a hell of a lot of time making sure I copied every fucking video that he did, as well as other people on here. You wouldn't believe the fucking memory cards I have here with specific people. If they've seen what I had on these cards, they'd be pissed in their fucking pants. I kept it all. Very safely. I kept it all. numerous characters on here, including Ricky and others. Got it all. Never got rid of it. Never got accidentally destroyed. Nothing. I got it all right here. Because I thought ahead. And I thought ahead so far ahead that I knew that I had to make a police report to start any of this off at all. It had to go through channels. I did it all. I let it go to the proper channels. I knew what the protocol was. Have a paper trail. Have a paper trail, which I did on several people on here. And I still do. Okay? I've got police reports on certain people. That's the paper trail. And it works in your favor most of the time. Till evidence is examined. But Barry's a lucky man. He don't realize how lucky he is. He doesn't have a clue how lucky he is. Even to this day, he's acting brave because he's in protective custody in jail. No, he would not want me in there with him. Because if I was in there with him, I wouldn't care about anything anymore. I would take business at hand. He'd have to worry about me being in jail with him. Because I'll let everyone, including the guards, to know what this man is all about. And those Chinese wouldn't like him very much. No, he don't want me in some kind of detention with him. I guarantee you, the love of my dead parents, the love of my partner and family out here, Barry would not want me in a detention center with him. He wouldn't leave his area. He'd be pissing his fucking pants because I'm a relentless motherfucker. When I believe in something, I go for it. I don't stop. I'm like that hungry fucking lion that hasn't eaten for a week and a half. So, until I get the job done. What you need?
Meats.
Oh, you looking for an auntie?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta get off a few minutes here, guys. Nature calls too, so let me see. Where did I put them there? Where did I put them? I got glasses on, so... Oh, it's right here.
I cannot see, man.
Don't start taking that every night. Some Benadryl. Yeah, diphenhydramine, that's Benadryl. That's generic for... Yeah.
No, because it's cheap.
Might help you sleep a little bit too. Itchy! My last sip of water here. I'm gonna have a little more smoke because I'm in the mood. Not in the mood for love right now, but I'm enjoying this talk tonight here. Not many people are really engaging in a little dialogue here because they're finding my stories so fucking fascinating, but they're true. So I'll say it again. Barry wouldn't want to connect with me. He wouldn't want to connect with me. Not fucking at all. I pound his fucking head into the fucking ground. Yeah, Gilda's laughing here. She knows me. You know I would pound Barry's head into the fucking ground, don't you?
Yeah.
You know that, don't you? Yeah. You know my capabilities, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
You see how I work out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You know it. If anybody knows, it's this lovely lady in this room right here. She knows me. No, not that I ever did anything to her. I never hurt her. But I would do anything in the world to protect her. And I remember everybody on here who's talked shit about her and made fun of her. When she's the most sane woman in a relationship with anybody on here. You know. And she doesn't deserve any of that shit. Because she's not a YouTuber. She's not a regular on my show in the past. She might have made some appearances here and there, but she's not on YouTube. And ain't nobody had the right to go after her at all. That was not right. I remember every single one, everything from Roberto all the way down the line. Popeye, Roberto, Barry, you name the person, it's in my head. Ricky, Jay, of course. Jay, I hope you do come down here, Jay. You're back in the Philippines or something, or supposedly already? Stop by. Stop by. Stop by. I want to see what you're made of, motherfucker. I want to see what you're made of. That's an invitation. That's an invitation, Jay. You talked a lot of shit about me and my lady. And you think I forgot about that? Mr. Hit and Run who comes on and puts shows on and he says some really nasty things about me and then he takes the show off. You've done it with other people too, Jay. You fucking ugly looking aborigine bastard. Go chain smoke your cigarettes. Go drink as much booze as you possibly can. Going to the gym ain't going to help your ass out. Nothing's going to help your ass. But they all get in trouble. Remember, it all comes out in the wash. Ricky's getting pressure. He'll come back on again, but he's been under pressure. And he don't know the rest of the story behind me and him. He doesn't know who I've talked to. He doesn't know what I filed. He doesn't know any about that because I never talk about it. See, I have a way of protecting myself. You know how I say all the time, get the paperwork down from the beginning in case you have any trouble. Collect the evidence. So when something does come up, you're already prepared. You don't have to go through a lot of paperwork initially because you already got the papers down. You made the right move by making an official report on somebody. I got a report on him. Right here, Santa Fe. I got a report on him right now. I didn't have to splash it all over the internet. I got a report on him. I got video evidence on him. You think I didn't keep all that shit? Of course I did. You know me better than that. Hey, I like that light on here too.
Huh?
I like that light on here too. Nice and bright.
Right.
You got it down. That's a good light. It really illuminates everything. That's pretty good. I got my dogs. They hear every fucking thing. They go out. I always investigate when they bark, and I see it on camera. The kids coming back with the electric bike. Told you the kids. Told you kids. There you go. See, they hear you coming in. They know. They know. They know. Anyway, it's been an interesting list. They call it a monologue tonight because there hasn't been a lot of dialogue. Thank you, Aloe, for coming by. And everybody who's been here tonight. We had like 28 strong here tonight. A really good night. So, with that being said, I gotta wind down for the night a little bit here. Just keep in mind, you don't know everything about everybody. You don't know everybody's capabilities. I keep it legal, don't worry. Nobody gets physically hurt from me in any form or way. I'm not that stupid. I can control my temper, but to a point. If something physical that does happen, well, my temper's out of control. Forget it. It's a gone situation. I'm either going to be dead on the floor or bloody, or they're going to be dead on the floor and bloody, which means protecting my life or people I love. That's just the way it is. It's not going to go any other way. Because once you wind me up, I can't be unwinded. I'm going to be at you, at your face, until one of us goes down. That's just who I am. I have a trigger temper when it comes to being in a physical conflict with somebody. We all have a natural instinct to protect ourselves, and I got a major instinct to protect myself. That's why I take supplements and vitamins to help fight off disease, other stuff. Because I try, for the most part, to do good things for myself, other than maybe one habit, which I'm not proud of. I will do anything in the world, even die, to protect the woman that I love. I'm not a young man anymore. I don't care. I don't care. To get the job done, I will do everything in my power. For anybody who's adverse against me, and especially somebody who's trying to get me deported with a false complaint, and she thinks it's funny, well, guess what, sweetheart? I don't think it's funny at all. And it's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say. So let's play this out, sweetheart, and let's see where it goes. let's see where it goes. But if you think I'm letting this drop, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind. Legally, of course. Legally. Nothing physical. I'm not like that. Unless I was attacked. But legally, we'll see. Nobody believed me when I said I took care of Barry, right? Maybe you want to listen to me now. Maybe you'll listen to me now. If this doesn't go down the way I want, and I have to spend more money, more time, more stress to fight this complaint and make the immigration see the light of day, okay? That's a lot of wear and tear on me. Not gonna let it go. I could be generous. I could be generous if they drop the complaint. But until then, I'm not gonna be generous at all. If things for some reason didn't go my way, well, it's a free-for-all. And, no, I'm not threatening her at all. I know someone's going to make a statement. So you're threatening? Oh, no, I'm not threatening her at all. I'm giving fact, no fiction. I have no reason to threaten. I speak my mind. When have I not? In all fairness to myself and someone I love very much, I am completely obligated to take this all the way. All the way. No matter what money is spent, I don't care about the money. You could always replace money. But you can't change some really negative things unless you fight to make these changes and you put these people in their fucking place where they belong. She should be in fucking jail. She should be in jail. And maybe for harboring and aiding and abetting Barry, maybe she should. And for putting a false report on me that she's so very proud of. That just got you into trouble, sweetheart. You just don't know it yet. But let's wait this out. Let's see what happens. That little can of worm that you opened up, you're going to wish you didn't have a sharp can opener and it didn't open that can. You're going to wish you put that can back on the shelf. Because if it doesn't go my way, well, my plan, my lawyer's already retained for what he has to do. I thought ahead. Oh, he'll return the money. It's kind of in his own kind of escrow. He'll return the money to me. But it's a done deal. Papers are done. Videos are done. Facts are done. It's all on paper, ready to go. And the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I'm waiting to see what happens with immigration. It's a done deal. Get some more money, get a lawyer again. Have one of your saviors out there come up with their deep pockets and help you out. But money doesn't always cover, a lie. Not always. People think that money does it all. Yeah, you could pay off officials. You could do all kinds of shit, right? Doesn't always work, though. You think it does. And sometimes it can turn against you. Then the officials will say, yeah, this person tried to bribe me, or something like that, to protect their own job and their own ass, and then you get even in more trouble. Just how it works, folks. That's just how it works. Well, I'm going to have a good evening, and hope you guys have a wonderful day or evening, whatever time of day. You too, Popeye. Maybe someday you'll meet that fine woman with that blue or gray hair at the bingo parlor. Maybe you'll finally get laid. Finally. Maybe get all that tension out of your system and find something else to do with your time except to simulcast my shows. You're a sick man, dude. But then again, there's a lot of sickness on YouTube here. I listen to these shows, I scratch my head and say, is this for real?